So, how is everybody doing? I'm coming live from London, UK, just 3 minutes after 9 p.m. That's pretty good going for us. We're back. It's been a little while. It's actually been a month. Where did time go? This time last week, I was driving back with a good friend, Sparky, from Newbury in the most horrendous weather in the Impala. So I'm actually glad to be sitting in the warm tonight and not driving. So how's everybody been? Have you had a good time? How's your summer been? Because we're now in September, which kind of means the cozy nights are coming. I've missed being with my crew. I've missed having Sunday night specials with them from Virginia. I have a puppy here, so if I suddenly disappear, you know why. But yes, we're coming in live. It is Sunday, the 21st of September, London, UK, and I'm now about to bring in my beautiful co-host from Virginia, the lady that puts the swing into Wicked, the lovely Val. Hello.
How are you?
I always give you a little bit of an intro there, Val.
I appreciate that.
Well, it's true. You just put the swing into it, right?
Well, I try.
How you been, lovey? It's nice to be back with you.
It is good to be back. It was I had just about the same that month, but it's nice to be to have something on a Sunday night to do other than just watch TV.
Do you know, I agree with you, because like Sundays, that's why we picked Sunday for Wicked Women, because we were like, it's Sunday. What does most people do on a Sunday? So that's why we were like, we'll do Wicked Women instead. And it's, as I said, we've not been here for a month. Lots of things going on. I had 2 Comic Cons to do. The pup came home, and when I say pup, I mean 30 kilograms of muscle. So
yeah, he's not a pup. He's a pup, but he's a big pup.
So I've worn him out. So he's sleeping down here right now. And lots of things have been happening in the time that we haven't been on. It's not been the easiest time for you and I both off screen, but that's nothing new. And right. we have Michael as well coming in later. I just want to say hi to Keith. It's so nice to see you, Keith. And Sparky, hello, darling. How are you? And Steve, thanks so much for joining us. So, Val, good subject tonight. And I do, I don't.
I think a lot of people can relate.
Yeah, like it's not about marriage, getting married or not getting married. There was a conversation I had with a friend. He is in a long-term relationship was in a long-term relationship like a marriage, and he went through something similar to me, and it sort of triggered something in me. And then chatting to another good friend that's going through something similar, it seemed to be a very good topic to have, and that is you're with someone in a marriage. So let's give you a scenario first of all. You meet someone, you date them, it all seems to go really, really well. The next thing you know, there's a ring on your finger, you're booking your wedding, it's all wonderful, you're on the same road, the same page. It's like, I'm getting married. We're going to look at that side first. I'm getting married. We're going to be together forever, and we want the same things. And as time goes on, you either grow together or you grow apart. Things come along to throw it into the net, and then one day someone says to you, "I don't want this anymore," and it can devastate you because you may not have been prepared for it. It isn't what you want to hear. You're not ready for it, or you might be in a position. And I'm going to explain this position. Then I'm going to come to Val, and Val's going to come from another point of looking at it. So my own position, I was married. I've been married twice. I never hide that. Always bring it up. Never regretted either of them. Made me who I am. But I was married twice, and in my second marriage, I was quite poorly, very poorly, in and out of the hospital. Didn't know what was wrong with me. Was really starting to affect me mentally, as in feeling very insecure, very, very scared, and so much so that I my partner, my ex-husband, did not know how to handle it, was not there for me, could not cope with the fact that I was ill. In fact, made me feel like I was a freak, and also made me feel like I was the biggest pain in the arse and couldn't wait to get away from me. I remember one night the ambulance was called to take me to hospital, and he was like, sorry for her calling you out. She's over exaggerating. And the ambulance guy said, you need to get out of my ambulance now and let me deal with my patient. I was so poorly, I went to stay with my mum, and had to be taken off because I was taken care of. And one night at 10 o'clock at night, I got a text message. And the text message said, sorry, I don't want this anymore. I want a divorce. Now, you can imagine at 10 o'clock at night, you're just about to go to sleep. You get a text message from your husband who's not said anything to you like this before. And he knows you can't get upset because you're really low. You're at your lowest point. The doctors have said, don't get stressed, don't get low, whatever. Just stay calm. And I remember being in bed and seeing tears and feeling tears coming down my face. He kicked me at my lowest point where I couldn't come back, where I couldn't do anything. I had to accept it. It's almost like he chose that moment because it was the right moment for him to do it, because he could get out easily. It was like, she's not here, she's not in the house. And then I went through all those things in my head. Is this it really me? Am I a terrible person? Am I a terrible man? A wife, sorry. I felt like so ugly, so unwanted, so this was my husband. This was a man who took vows and said, till death do you part, in sickness and in health. Now, we've all said those vows one way or the other, or we will say those vows, and there's no point saying them if you don't mean them. And you can say, well, I meant them at the time. Well, you're supposed to mean them until literally the day you walk out or the day that you leave the planet. But I felt Val like the biggest piece of crap on the universe. And I also felt like he's kicked me. I mean, I'm ill. Why would he want to be with me? I'm not going to, I wasn't the woman you see sitting here today, right? I'm not the woman you see. I was a very, very different. I was very sick. I was very insecure, needing reassurance, very physically weak. What kind of person, and I'm going to use this, what kind of person does this to somebody when they're at their lowest? And I'm not the only one this has happened to. I have another close male friend who was in a long-term relationship, not married, but long-term relationship. They had cancer. They had ill health. And they were in bed, unable to get out of bed. And this is a guy. And the lady he was with left him to be on his own. He couldn't get out of bed. All he could do was look out the window. What the fuck are we doing when we marry these people that we think they're going to be there for us when the shit hits the fan? They're going to be there for us when something goes on. And then the next thing you know, it's like the disappearing act. So I know we'll talk about this more in length, but this is where this came from. I do, I don't. You both wanted it, and then someone turned around and said, thank you, Steve. I know you're not the only one, Wendy, not in the least. Absolutely. I'm not. There's a lot of people that could be watching this show tonight who are in a relationship. They cannot talk about their health. They cannot talk about if it's mental or physical or anything else they're going through because their partner rolls their eyes at them, or you're always ill or whatever, or another, or they say they just want the relationship over and they kick you at the weakest point. Val, what's your take on this?
I've been married twice as well. I think you could probably categorize the relationships to a certain extent. You know, some people get married when they're really young and they haven't necessarily found themselves yet. And once they do, you know, I think couples tend to grow away from each other. Because who they were when they were, you know, teenagers or early 20s, it's not who they are when they're 40 or, you know. So in that respect, I think a lot of times it's usually both that you know, grow away from each other. But you know, when you marry someone, you know, you have in your mind, this is who I'm going to be from now on. I'm going to be their wife, their husband, whatever. You know, and if one person is totally dedicated and totally feels that way, and the other one doesn't, you know, one grows away and one tries to hold them. And, you know, you can't necessarily hold on to somebody who doesn't want to be there. No matter how hard you try, you end up causing them to not want to be there more by trying to hold them there. And in the end, you are way better off to let them go, no matter how much it hurts, because, you know, me personally, I don't want somebody to be with me who doesn't want to be there. You know, and if you let them go, then you have the opportunity of finding someone who does want to be there.
Although you are damaged, Val, from that particular scenario, because
Sure.
I defy anyone to come out of that and go, and I and have been so
Sure.
much so that I've become so overly independent now that it would be very hard. I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible, because I think
Sure.
I can. I'm quite tolerant. But you and I have had to be fiercely independent women and stand on our own 2 feet, with our health, with finances, with you bringing up your daughters. You know, it's like we've become so independent now that it's almost, as Sparky said, there's almost afraid to actually go down that road so that someone else never does that again.
But, you know, of course, our history makes us who we are. And once you are, I mean, it takes a long time to get to the place where we are now. I mean, we had to go through a lot to be the people we are now.
Sure.
And there was many relationships that didn't work out the way we wanted them to, or the way we thought they would, simply because it wasn't meant for us to be with them. But it was meant for us to have that experience to end up where we are now.
It's a very different generation growing up as well,
Yeah.
than we had. Like, we are from a generation where, in a way, and I'm not saying it was wrong, but it was like you get married, you have children, you know, there was this whole thing. When I was 31, when I got married for the first time, I didn't want to get married. I had a wonderful boyfriend, didn't want to marry him, but you know, he did, and I married him. Wasn't in the right frame to be a wife, and sadly our marriage failed. Always took it on the chin that it was my fault. He was like, no, it's both of us. Second time, absolutely 100%, let's do this, let's I'm in there, let's do that. I think these people scar us and leave damage, and therefore it's like, who's going to want me? Like, so for instance, I have ill health like you do. I'll rephrase that. I have health conditions like you do. And some days my health is pants and some days my health is brilliant. And everybody would love to be with somebody who, how you doing? What can I do to help you? Do you want hot water bottle? Do you need a drink? Do you need a soup or whatever? That would be the most amazing thing to find. Those people are rare. They're like bloody gold dust, right? Mostly people can't handle illness in people. A lot of people can't handle it. And they also can't handle when you're not independent, where suddenly you can't work, you're stuck at home, you're laid up, you can't bring the money in. And when money doesn't come in, love goes out the window. That's a very old saying. My mum always used to say that to me. You wait, when money goes out the window, love won't be far behind it. Nowadays, women are encouraged to, you don't need to get married. You can be on your own. You can do anything you want. And yet we still find ourselves as women in those situations, whether we're living with somebody or whether we're dating them or whether we're going to get married to them. In that situation, as Steve says, when my best friend's illness came on, she was so afraid I'd leave her. The idea just didn't register with me, but she informed me that it was not uncommon. That is so true, Steve. So true. And I can't begin to tell. This is the reason why I've become so. People say, why are you single, Wend? Why are you single? You're gorgeous. Why are you single? And I'm like, yeah, it's not as simple as that. I need to find somebody who, first of all, who's consistent. Secondly, has got their shit together and knows what they want and stays with it 100%. And fourthly, I don't want to be with anyone ever in my life again that goes, never, ever want to do that. And Sparky says it's easier. Sometimes it is. It isn't always easier. Val, is it being on our own?
No, it's not. Some days you want to have someone else with you. Mm-hmm. You want to be able to sit down and watch a movie with someone, or, go to eat or whatever, just have company.
Yeah.
But, then, you wake up and you feel like ass and you don't want anybody around you at all. So, to find somebody who is willing to be there when you need them and, kind of back off when you're in those, those periods, it's rare to find somebody who's willing to do that.
Yeah.
A lot of people, from my own experience, a lot of narcissistic people, you can't be sick because that takes the attention away from them.
Yeah.
They can't give up that, it's all about me if they have to take care of someone else. Mm. So their idea is, well, if you're sick and can't do what I need you to do, then I'm just going to leave and find somebody who is able to give me what I need.
And if you've got kids, I mean, let's look at it from another angle. So you get married, people want to have children, they have children. And obviously that brings its own hassles and its own gifts, as well as it being difficult. And the man can't work. Something happens to the guy. he's ill, or he has an accident, or has a breakdown, or he's suffering with mental health, or anything like that, suddenly he's not earning. There are a lot of women out there, and I say this as a woman, there are a lot of women that like, men don't work, not interested.
Yeah.
And it's the same with women. If there's some guys out there, if the woman can't work, they look at them the same way. As partners, when we say marriage vows, or when we get together and we say, I'm committed to you in this relationship, it means if you're sick, it means if the shit hits the fan, it means if you can't work. It doesn't mean, right, you know what, this isn't working for me anymore, so I'm just going to go. And I'm not saying that marriages don't break down, because they do. And they break down, she says, getting the glasses on. They break down for all different reasons. And I have some of the reasons here why marriages fail and relationships. And I say marriages, but we're also looking at relationships and value. And I'm sure you've got some as well. But lack of communication is the biggest reason that a marriage apparently fails. People stop really talking to each other in a relationship. It's like, yeah, but you're not listening to me. Financial stress, infidelity, constant conflict, unrealistic expectations. That is a classic. Expectations. I expected you to be there. Growing apart over time, a decline in intimacy, and sometimes addiction as well. Now, if you're arguing and fighting, it's going out the door. It's going out pretty quick. If there are money issues, now that's a big one, because for better, for worse. So when money's coming in, the relationship's good. When money's not coming in, it falls apart. Val, how did you find that you felt in your relationship when finances were bad? How did you feel?
Honestly, my first marriage, we were both working before we had kids. We didn't really want for anything. But a couple of years into it, the addiction part came in. And that is also when the financial thing started, because he was spending his paycheck on his addiction and not his family. So, it's a lot of times, I think it's a combination and not just one thing. The addiction, then the financial, then the abusive, part started because of the addiction and the money problems. So, I think one leads to another, and then they just kind of combine together. And it's not just one thing that tears apart a marriage. It's many things.
It kind of builds up, doesn't it? It starts, and if you don't deal with it, it's going to get bigger and bigger. And obviously, one of it is unrealistic expectations. And I think all of us are I would say probably 95% of us go into marriage with an expectation that our partner is going to stay and be with us no matter when shit hits the fan. And then we get severely disappointed when we realize that was when they left, and for me, I mean, my whole second marriage was within a short time of marrying him, and I took my marriage vows seriously, but within marrying him, he had an addiction. He was unfaithful. Oh my God, the list just went on.
It's hard. I mean, you don't go up to the altar and say,
no,
I love you and all these, and I agree to all these things until
Yeah.
You do this, and this. You don't expect all this stuff. When it happens, it's a shock.
It is terrible
And
show.
and if you're like me, you try to fix those things because you feel responsible for that.
Hmm.
You feel responsible for making the marriage work because you did take those vows seriously.
Yes.
And there's certain things you just can't overcome, and you can't do it alone. If both parties really work at it, you can save it if
If
you
they both
want to.
want to. Exactly. Ditto.
But one cannot save it.
No.
It takes both. And one trying to save the marriage is never going to work, because it's almost like you're holding somebody that does not want to be there, and you're hurting that person because they want to leave. You're hurting yourself because you're denying yourself someone who does want to be there.
Mm.
Plus, finding yourself, I always said that my first divorce was the worst and the best thing that happened, because it was so hard after being married for 15 years and 2 kids. It was like grieving the loss of someone, but it was a thing. It was almost like its own entity.
Mm.
You're grieving, I couldn't fix it. My dream of a family and doing all these things is gone, and I'm not going to have it, So it's almost like the grieving process. But then once you accept it, you tend to find yourself, your true self. And you find out that it was worth it, because you're not in that mental state and physical, danger anymore. That you were in I was in for 12 years. It wasn't a good place. And even though it hurt to leave that place, it was much better for me and my kids to leave that place than stay and continue to try to, dig something out of the dirt that's never going to come up.
I sit here a different woman. I
Yeah.
have been divorced 14 years. And I can sit here and put myself in that position as I was back then and
Yeah.
feel those emotions, but I am a very different woman now. But I went through such pain in my second marriage, so much tearing myself apart, second guessing, insecure, need reassuring, disappointment, disillusionment, and it changed me. It changed me, and the relationships that I got into a relationship when I came out. I've been out a while, mind you. It was, of course, you're carrying some of that baggage when you go into a new one. Down the line, 14 years later, I'm a very different person. But I wanted my marriage so hard to work. I wanted it to work so badly. I loved him very much, and I hoped we would have a family. That got dashed pretty quick from me. I thought that, he was from Canada, and then obviously he came to England, and I was thinking that things would work well. That was not the best idea. But I think what was for me was the fact that I went through I had a breakdown. I had a breakdown over it. Like, literally, I had a breakdown. I wanted to just hurt myself so badly to get rid of the pain that was going on inside me. And I remember like sitting on my mum's bed, like literally like trying to hurt
Well,
myself.
Well, I think a lot of us do that. You almost want to physically hurt, not
You do.
not not as far as, you know, I don't know how to say it. Not all the way hurt yourself, put it that way. But you want that physical pain because it takes away from that emotional pain.
It
It's
was.
like you want something else to focus on
Mm.
besides the pain that's on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, it was like, I don't want to feel this,
Right.
and I don't want to wake up every day and see this over and over again. And the reason I don't often talk, well, it comes up in from time to time on Wicked Women, but I remember when I was with my second husband, I remember thinking, why is he with me? Why is he with me? Like, he was slightly younger. He could get anyone he wants. He was a good looking guy, whatever. And now I'm a completely different woman. I see things completely different. But back then, very, very different. And I think that it was coming to terms with the fact that my marriage was dying. And my first marriage, I'd already taken that. It was my fault the first time. And here I was. And I think when you've been married a couple of times, or even in long-term relationships, and you've lived with them for a long time that are like a marriage, you're like, I put so much into it. I gave so much into it. I gave and gave and gave. And still here where I find myself. He went
Yeah.
on to marry again, and he's still married to that lady. And I'm sure he's dealt with a lot of demons. I'm sure he's dealt with demons for that marriage to survive as it is. But he's well aware. He did say to me, "I'm well aware of what I did to you." And I remember that time when I was taken to hospital. I rang my sister up and I said, could you come to the hospital, please? She said, well, because I was married. Like, why do I need to go? You got your husband. And I'm like, please come and be with me, because I feel like the biggest burden. And he was there as like this, asleep beside me, not even talking to me, not even doing anything, just ignoring me. And my sister came up and she had a right go at him. And he couldn't give a shit, really. He couldn't really give a shit. And I think that was the biggest thing when you think, I said those vows, I believe them. And now, and I realize that, and also the other horrible feeling when that someone wants out of the relationship is when you find that they're behind your back, they've been putting things into place. Like, I've got a new place to go to. I've arranged all this for you. Oh, and guess what? Don't worry about the divorce. I'm going to start that. I'll pay for everything. After all, it's me that doesn't want it anymore. And you're like, well, hang on a minute. What power have I got? What have I got left? Right.
Right.
And,
But well, it goes along with the narcissistic attitudes as well. That does as well as the other, because they turn anything and everything that's going on with you into something that you're doing to them.
Yep.
If you have to go to the hospital, well, I had to miss work because you went to the hospital, or
I had to leave work.
Or I didn't get sleep last night because I had to take you. I was up with you, or and it doesn't take long for you to notice subtle jabs, and they tend to stack up. A jab here and a jab there, and well, you never feel good. They stack on top of each other, and you end up feeling like you're the biggest burden to people, that
100%.
I might as well just go somewhere by myself because I'm just irritating everybody.
just go quietly over to the side.
Yeah. I'm just going to go and hurt over here.
Yeah.
And, and I think that causes us to hold in a lot of things that in the the past we could have been able to talk about and get it off our chest, and now they don't want to hear that. It's almost like, okay, I've heard it for years, I don't want to hear it anymore. It's almost, and you feel like a what is it, a broken drum.
I get it.
Constantly, and even when you feel good, they bring you back down by saying, "Oh, really? But what about earlier? You didn't earlier. Now you do. That's convenient." It's those words that it just, you can't win.
And that's why, as I've got older, you and I were talking about this earlier on this afternoon. I don't tell. Some people say to me, "I don't know a lot about you, Wendy. You don't tell me," because now you've got to stay in my life for a while, unless because you watch this or someone. You've got to stay in my life for a while for me to really open up and trust you, because at the end of the day, yes, I have health conditions. Yes, they sometimes bring me down incredibly low. It's bad enough that I have to deal with them without someone else rolling their eyes at me and looking at me going, again, because at the end of the day, I'd rather just be on my own and deal with it on my own. I am a very independent woman. And it's like, I've lived on my own longer than I've ever lived with a guy or was married, sadly. And I think it's got to a point now that there are very few people I trust, and those that I trust are pretty much on two hands. And it's a shame that sometimes your spouse, we get married, we get engaged because we meet this person and we think, oh, it's going to be amazing. I love you. I love you. The three most dangerous words in the history of the human. I love you. Because once you say that to someone, it comes with a little bit of expectation, actually quite a lot. And also, it also means that this person is vulnerable, it can hurt you. This person can damage you, it can really damage you. But I also think as well that there are people out there, not many, but there are people that will that will take care of you, that will look after you, that will support you, that will be your strength, that will be, whether it's a partner, whether it's a spouse. But I think that when a marriage fails and you have to do the divorce, let me tell you, and I'm sure lots of people watching this will understand, when you go to the lawyer and you sign for that divorce, you feel the two things. You feel relief or absolute pain.
Yeah.
Because you're either relieved, I need to get out of this, it needs to be gone, or I can't believe
But I think a lot of times, and thank you, Sparky, a broken record. Thank you. I could not think of that. But I think that you always have a combination of those two things.
Sure.
I think the relief comes when, if you're the one that is filing, you think, I'm finally going to get out of this damaging situation.
Yeah.
But you also feel that grief over thinking, I should have been able to make it work.
Mm.
I had a lot of that, I should have been able to change things. I should have been able to make it better. And until you realize that you were the only thing holding everything up.
Ditto.
And I always look at it as you're trying to carry a laundry basket full and things keep falling. So you're having to hold all this up and try to reach and pick that up too, and
Well,
keep everything in the basket.
You're juggling, aren't you? I'll do this.
Yeah.
I've got the kids. I've got this. I've got that. But the thing is, as well, why do we, as women, and obviously I'm looking at this point as just women. I know there's guys. Michael's in the background waiting to come in. I know guys that have their say on this as well. But as women, I think there's a genetic code, it must be, of my background or my DNA family that's like, there's a loser. I'll date them. I'll tell you what, I'll even marry them, right?
Well, honestly,
Wiser now, but
as empaths, we tend to gravitate towards broken people.
yes.
And in our minds, a narcissist is someone we feel like we can change.
Yeah.
Well, and we tend to gravitate towards those people.
And also, I mean, let's look at it from a guy's point of view. And like Michael will come on and give his share in a minute. But as a guy who's been married a couple of times, do they have more of a reputation? I mean, say you meet a guy, Val, and he's been married 3 times. Would that put you off him?
My second husband had been married 5 already.
So, how many? Did you say 5?
Yeah. But in my defense, I got married to him right after my divorce. And the mind space that I was in, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
The headspace I was in when I got divorced from my first husband, after 12 years of physical, mental, and emotional abuse, it could have been anybody.
Yeah.
And yeah, my second husband, I was like his 5th wife.
Well, I mean, Sparky says, like, how did he fit in 5? I mean, the thing is, I think most people now are married a couple of times. I think sometimes we marry too young and we outgrow them, or it was too young, it fails, or this infidelity. I think as you get older, marriage is, you've got more chance of a marriage succeeding because you kind of know where you are, you know where you've been, done, ticked it off, you know what you want, you know what you don't want, and so you're coming from a much more grounded, wiser place. I was chatting to Mark.
To not let people intimidate you and not let people pull the wool over your eyes as much. You tend to see things more clearly.
Mark and I went for lunch today and we were talking about this subject, and he said to me, I never want to get married. I never want to live with anybody. And he said, I don't mind dating, as in like going out, having fun, etc. But I don't have the capacity in me to, if they have their place and I have mine, that's great. But I don't have the capacity. And that's wonderful because there's someone who's so clear about what they want and is not gonna change. But for me, it's like, I've been divorced now 14 years. And would I marry again? Yes, I would. Absolutely, I would. It scares the shit out of me. Of course it does. But I would do it because at the end of the day, I do believe in it. And I think that I would like to spend the better half of my life with somebody awesome and amazing and a team. That's the one thing that's eluded me, Val. And I think you and I have got that in common. It's eluded me, the team effort. We're a team. There's no I, there's no him and her. It's them. It's together. We're a team. And I think that I want to bring this statistic up because I have to say, because it's been out there and I need to bring this up. How many divorces were there in 2024? And I had a look down here, and it says in 2024, there were 35 to 40% of marriages in the US which ultimately came to divorce. So that's almost just under half. Now, in the UK, there are not final figures up, but what they're kind of saying in the UK in 2024 for the first quarter, there were 21,662 final divorce orders granted in England and Wales, which means obviously the degree nice, I would imagine they were talking about. And then, so, you know, when your spouse or your partner decides long term, because what's the difference, let's be honest, when you're living with someone, and so they come to you and they say, I don't want this anymore, right? Or you're not doing it for me anymore. You are going to feel so many different feelings, and one of it is like, can I change their mind? Can we sit down and talk about it? Can we work it through? Because when we love someone, we always want to see the good in them. We always want to see that there's a possibility. But your gut instinct is never wrong. I say to people all the time, ignore your head, ignore your heart, go for that gut feeling, because it always tells you over and over again. I'm going to bring Michael in actually quite early tonight because I want a male version of this. Hey, Michael.
Hello, ladies. Very, very interesting subject. You know, I thought 4 was a lot, but I guess, you know, I found somebody to beat my record, so that's good. But yeah, there was an older lady that told me very young that love was never enough for a marriage. You had to have understanding and income.
Very true.
And I'm like, and you know, I wrote down like 10, and you know, and it's like, you know, I've seen gaslighting from men and women both. I had an ex. When I retired out of the army, I started my own business. You know, everything was a piece of shit. I was a piece of shit. My tools was shit. My truck was shit, and I never make nothing. But yet, when it come time for her to leave, she didn't like the idea of leaving, because if she left the lifestyle this piece of shit provided for her. So it goes both ways.
Are you talking about your wife said? Come a bit closer to the camera, to the microphone. Did you say your wife said you made you feel like a piece of shit?
Oh yeah. Oh no, it didn't make me. She'd straight tell you, you're a piece of shit. Your truck's shit. Your tools are shit. You know, your intelligence are shit. You'll never be nothing. But then when things took off, I couldn't get rid of her because of the lifestyle that I provided.
As a husband, when a wife turns around and brings you down,
oh yeah,
how did it make you feel?
Like I wanted to get rid of her, but she wouldn't leave.
That's how it affected you.
Oh yeah, because like I said, you know, it's I always said a relationship is never 50-50. Some days it's 80-20, and other days it's 70-30.
Well, it has to be. It has to be that.
And some days one or the other has to shoulder the responsibility. If somebody has ill health or they just get sick. You know, we just came out of a pandemic where there was probably some people that was, you know, that they were stuck at home. You know, they didn't know how to deal with the kids. You know, and then it wasn't that they didn't want to go to work and they didn't want to send the kids to school. And now, you know, the roles kind of like implode together into a home. And the only reason it worked was because you had separation for 8 to 10 hours a day. And now you're cram packed into this little nucleus. And it's like, and it's just like a runaway nuclear reaction, because, you know, all the energy just keeps piling on each other. And you know, and it didn't give people a lot of time to decompress. And I actually think you can spend too much time with your significant other. Because sometimes
when you spend so much time with them that they start getting on your nerves.
Yeah.
Or you're finding ways to kill them.
You need to separate.
Is it? Yeah.
So you need to at least have alone times, you know.
I always
each other.
I tell these guys, I said, I can tell your relationship's going to hell. And they're like, how do you get it? I said, this bitch is watching the first 48. And he's like, what? I said, she's got a plan in her head how to unalive you. And he's like, what?
Michael, here's a
Hey, I
question.
go to bed at night watching Forensic Files, so I
That's what
can't
I'm
say
saying.
Here's a
anything about
question for you.
that.
Here's a question for you, Michael. I know I can't ask you to speak for British guys, but I'm asking you to speak from American guys, or at least
Okay,
from your area.
okay.
Do you think a lot of women in America marry for money?
Absolutely. Hell, some guys do too. You show me granny with 900 acres and 900,000 in the bank, I will show her a happy lad. Ain't kidding me. I'd marry for money right now.
Make her last days.
That's it. Yeah, I'd take her last name. Me and the dog would be right on it. But when you get older, I've been like you said, I have lived more on my own than I have ever been married. And I tell them, I got 2 big old dogs in the house. I can get done with this. I can go in there and sit down on the couch and tell them, say, hey, we're going to watch YouTube. Neither one of them never says a word about what I watch. And if you're with a spouse, either man or woman, and you get the little size like, oh, we're going to watch that again. Or
Little digs.
Little digs. Yes, that little dig is like, well, I don't really care what you watch, but we watching that again. I had a lady tell me about 3 years ago. She said, you're a really lovely guy. I'd like to go out, but you're so damn jaded that there's no fixing you. I said, who the hell said I want to be fixed? I'm perfectly content with me. For once in my life, I finally figured out that I'm retarded, that I can be selfish, and it can be about me. I did a long time in the Army. I was at somebody else's beck and call. I was married. I raised my kids, which came first. And now, I feel like the little teddy bear on Ted. My time, motherfucker. It's about me.
Now, obviously here we try to even up both the scales, so you have one side and then the other to look at. But it's like we've all been on our own a long time.
Oh yeah,
we've all been jaded. I'm talking about the 3 of us. We've all.
That's it.
I don't have to answer to anymore, but I'm going to look at it from the other side of things as well, because there are situations and there are people out there. I still believe there are people out there who are good people who would come into your life and enhance it and make it better. And it's like, it's so easy with this person. Why is this so easy? It was so difficult with the others. Well, because they were the wrong people sometimes.
Yeah.
But we end up making it difficult.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I've told Wendy this before, and I said it on Wicked Women. What really broke my heart later in life was I realized that I did not have enough years left in me to have a relationship as long as my grandparents had. And everybody's like, what do you mean? I said, they was married for 65 plus years, 18 kids.
Yeah. I've thought of that many times.
And I later thought, no wonder that they had separate bedrooms. She was tired of him. 18 kids was enough. My
grandparents were very different. My grandfather was a lot older than my nan, and they only had one child, my mum, and they had a very. My nan was the boss. Like, my nan put her point out, then my granddad went running. Like literally, she was the boss. But I also think I'd like to believe that there is somebody out there that will take you on. And now rephrase that. I would like to believe there is someone out there who will love you, no matter what your difficulties and challenges, but will also be there in the good times as well. We all come with baggage. We all come with, but after 20 years of marriage, or 10 years of marriage, or 5 years of marriage, where you have given your heart and soul, and financially, and bodily, and everything else, and mentally, to someone to turn around and just shaft you, pardon the pun, is I'm sorry, but that's a really painful thing to go for us, because it's like, it's not just your marriage, it's your home, it's your children, it's your financial situation. So I've got to actually go out now and get a place. You're going to keep everything because you've got the kids, because that's normally what happens.
Yeah.
You know, the one who's got the children keeps the home. Fair play.
Yeah.
But the other person's got to go out and start again from scratch. And my people might go, I remember sat hearing a guy saying to my brother when he, you know, years later when he got divorced, you're so lucky. You can go out and date all these women. You can do what you want now. You can shag who you want. And my brother was like, yeah, but have you seen who's out there? Like, have you really seen who's out there? It's either granny.
There's a saying, what is it? It's like shopping at Goodwill, and you try to find the unbroken ones that don't smell funny.
I've just literally seen that we have another person.
Oh,
I'm so excited to see him because he always makes me smile, and it's the beard. Obviously, I'm very, very keen on the beard. I'm going to bring him the lovely Jason. Hello, Charlie.
The beard and the glasses.
Yeah,
and he looks like he's dressed up too. So
I need to see the beard. Like, show me the beard.
Yeah.
What is this? Keith writes a really good point, and he says somebody paid in the dating pool.
Yeah.
Good point.
Oh, speaking of puns for that, and Jason's probably heard this one being in the Army. They always said that what is it? The child support and the alimony was the fucking you get for the fucking you got.
No, I never heard that one. I mean, I understand the sentiment, but I never heard that one.
Jason, you've been married, yeah?
Yeah.
How many times?
Once.
And tell us about your experience. What in a brief amount? Why did it fail, and how did it make you feel?
And how was it your fault?
It was really, when it comes down to it, is two people who should have stayed friends, not gone beyond that. Just different personalities, different life views. I wasn't ready, probably, if I'm going to be real honest about things. I was the one who asked for the divorce. I've never had a sense of, I should have been able to make it work. Really, the only thing that I've had in terms of that sort of thing is God, I put people through things. But I don't know. I wasn't the best of husbands because I was young and immature and hadn't really tasted the world, so to speak. And we ended up being very, very different people. And like even today, we're very different people. We have two amazing children together. And I would never trade them for anything in the world. But it never been a matter of, I could have done a better job and made it work. It's always been like, decisions that I made put two people through a rough time that neither of us really deserved. And, that sucks. And
so you blame yourself?
Yeah, there's a level of blaming myself with that. If I had more mental wherewithal or maturity at the time, I probably would have handled things a lot different before, we ended up in the situation we are. But the situation that doing what led to the situation we are is what gave me two amazing kids.
Yeah.
So it's one of those things. Like I don't regret anything. I wouldn't trade the experience for anything. Maybe some things here and there, just in terms of verbiage and how you talk and dealing with a couple of points. I could have handled that one better. Those kinds of things. But I think ultimately it was the right decision for both of our happiness.
A lot of times with the raw emotions, it is hard to pick your words and be kind during that time because your emotions are just like a nerve end. It's just. I mean,
like, look, I was the ultimate douche about it. I'll own up to that right now. I asked for a divorce while I was sitting in Iraq.
Yeah.
What a shitty thing to do. But I've been away from everything. I've had time now to sit there and think and look and reflect, and not just go to work, go to PT, go do all the stuff, come back, rinse, repeat, try to find energy to do something at the end of the day when you're sitting there in the desert and all you have is, the motor pool, your rack, and the chow hall, and maybe the gym.
And time to think.
You have time to think. And so
I always said that's the worst
I
enemy
asked for
in
it.
the world.
So there are things I could have handled probably different.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I think she has been much happier for it, and in the long run, she's remarried. They have a kid of their own. And her and my kid's stepdad are they're happy.
Yeah.
They're doing much better than I am.
Would you marry again? Does it put you off marriage, Jason?
Marriage doesn't put me off. I would like to be married again. That would be awesome. But at the same time, there's concerns about doing that sort of thing again. Because it's tough. I have, except for if I really look at things hard, like except for roughly, well, let's call it 4 years. I've lived alone since the divorce.
Yeah.
There was a 5-year period where I was with a gal and we got engaged. And then it turned into I can't follow you around and pursue the things that I want to pursue professionally and with my life and my own goals. You're not going to make the time to travel like I want to and things like that. And, she ultimately went back to DC and I stayed in Missouri and, but,
I don't know about you, but when I came out of my first marriage, there was almost like a wish to want to be married again and be in another committed relationship again, because I felt like, oh my God, I'd given up everything. And there was like, I felt this terrible, what have I done? What have I done? What have I given up? And I needed to have something back in my life, which is why I think I got into a terrible relationship after my first marriage ended. 4 years of abuse and a mental and physical hell that I will never. What about you, Val?
Yeah, that makes sense, because I think that's why I got into my second marriage so quickly.
Yeah.
Because in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, I'm losing a husband, a house, a family. Okay, so if I can have a house, a husband, and a family, then everything will just go back.
Everything
It'll be different. It'll be different, but this is what I'm gaining what I lost, so therefore I'll feel better.
Yes.
This feeling will go away because I have it again.
And also because my first marriage he's a good man and is a good man, was a good man, is a good man. And I had so much respect for him that I thought, well, if I've had an amazing relationship like this, I could have an amazing relationship, because I realized that it pretty much failed because I felt I wasn't ready. The second time round, I'd been on my own 5 to 6 years. And we got married. When that marriage ended, I did not want to divorce him. I didn't want to divorce him. I wanted to stay married so I could never get in that situation again, and I could hang on to that safety for so long. And it's like, no, I'm married. You can't come near me. My mum said to me, Wendy, I'm going to take you to the lawyer and you're going to get this divorce going. It's going to be the best thing you ever did. And I remember sitting there literally like this in the lawyer's room crying, and he was going, which they see all the time. Give me some reasons why this marriage is failing. As I started to reel them off, he was like, no. And I gave him 6 weeks to make a decision. I give you 6 weeks to get, to come back to me and let me know. Otherwise, I'll pursue a divorce. And he got the papers and he read them. He told me he had them. He never signed the divorce papers. Never signed them. I had to go to a lawyer and do 2 legal statements to say that here's a text message showing that he's got them. He never signed the divorce papers. And I never, to this day, I don't know why he never did that, but he didn't. And I remember I came out and I just thought, all men are bastards. They're all going to let you down. They're all going to do this, that, and the other. And it was like, I didn't want to marry anyone else. I didn't want to live with anyone else. And I think sometimes, all right, let's look at them. We can be over romantic. We can be over emotional. We can miss someone so much and want someone so much in our lives. We get involved with someone else and thinking, like if a marriage ended or we've lost somebody or through death or even.
Well, it's that fear of not knowing who you are by yourself.
Oh,
It's I was always with someone since I was 16. And from the time I was 16 years old till I was in my 30s, I'd always been with him. That was who I was. When we got divorced, I didn't know who I was.
That's what I'm saying. You got to be comfortable with yourself before you can be comfortable with somebody else.
But from 16 years old to I think 31, I was with someone. I was his girlfriend or his wife. I was a mother. That's who I was. When we divorced, I was just in limbo. I didn't know who I was because that's who I'd always been.
Oh, when I got out of my first marriage, I thought, yep, this is a practice marriage. I've dodged, I didn't dodge the whole bullet, but it only took a little flesh wound. And I was like, no. And
but see, when I was a teenager, I had in my mind what I wanted. And then that slipped away from me. So now what do I do? I was kind of like, I don't know what else to do. And it took me years.
Women are nesters. They always want to build the best nest for them and their offspring. And
but when somebody comes along and tears that nest down,
it pisses you off.
What do you do? You're left there.
I don't need anyone to build a nest. I have a nest, right?
She said, I have a nest.
But at the time, but at the time you don't. At the time,
absolutely.
All that you have accomplished is gone.
Absolutely, at that age, because if I go, I was 41 when my second marriage failed. I wanted to have children. There was so much I wanted to do. The children dream was, pretty much gone. And it was like, oh my God, I've just given 6.5 years to somebody who basically either played a very good game or was completely fucked up, one of the two. But at the end of the day, is like now I look at my life and I think, well, here I am at this point in my life. And here's me throwing everything out, packing everything up. And it's like, okay, where am I going? Well, I'm so ready for a new challenge and a new beginning because I've been there, done it, ticked it off. So I'm like, half my home's ready packed. Most of it's gone to the charity store. And literally, I'm like, bring it on. I am so ready. But at the same time, I'm like, I quite like sleeping alone. I quite like having the bed to myself. I quite like that. I quite like that. But at the same time, I miss cuddling up to somebody and having the whole, talking during the night. There's so many things I miss. And I think I don't want to get to that point where I've been on my own so long that it's harder to be with someone. I don't want that.
See, I need someone that if I want to cuddle up and watch a movie or whatever, okay, come on over. And, you know, when it's time to go to bed, I'm like, okay, y'all need to go home because,
Yeah.
you know, I don't want to sleep with anybody because y'all burn me up.
But you
Uh,
shouldn't have to give that up, Catherine. You shouldn't have to
no,
give any of those up just because you've got a partner in your life. And the right
No,
kind
they
of
should bring it out.
yeah,
the
you know,
right partner should enhance your life,
Yeah.
not make you give any of those up.
I saw that comment and I was thinking about our buddy JP, and I talked to JP, quite a bit, offline here, and JP has a lot of hobbies: motorcycle, the Beetle,
I've seen.
and all of that, and it would take somebody that was really open minded that would really want to get into some of the stuff and not.
I have a 67 Impala, JP.
Yeah, and but I was thinking about that earlier, and he's talking about people don't want to follow you,
Hello.
all over the country and do whatever, and and I think about that, and JP's always, we both in the army. He's always going to be a brother, and that's like the other night we got pulled
Always
in.
going to be a what?
Always be a brother.
Oh, brother. I thought you said runner, and I was like, no.
No, oh
Big
yeah.
runner on you, JP.
Yes,
Say
yeah.
again.
Oh yeah. They throw out that big L word, and he grabs his plate carrier and hunkers down. He's like, nope, time to pop smoke, time to go somewhere else.
Come on,
Break
Jason.
contact.
You know you want to get hold of my 67.
Yeah. Yeah.
He wants to put his whole hands around it.
The Hunter is a good looking car.
She's no. She's a sexy car. Let's get it right.
We need to get Sparky on.
Sparky is amazing. Sparky and I spent last Sunday night together driving the lady home. And let me tell you, without Sparky, I don't think I'd be sitting here because how the car and I got home. But I also think as well, like, I was at the Comic-Con last week. I had a lovely weekend last weekend. I spent Saturday night with as I call him, the demon, and Catherine and Mark, and we were all having a great night out. And there were 4 of us, all single. Well, technically, all nearly single, but 4 of us single. And there was, Mark got a bit squiffy. You've probably seen on my page, but it was like I was watching all of us. I was watching where all of us and listening to all the conversations of these people, and it was like, there's Mark, happy to stay single, doesn't want that to change, all right to mix and have some fun, but he wants it to stay. And Demon, as I call him, his nickname, in a situation where he has to sort and get clarity. What's that? What does this look like? Where is that going? Catherine, in some ways, good in herself, really in a good position, but also in a position where she needs to get clarity on a few situations as well. And I hope I'm being tactful there. And also myself. And I'm like, here I am. And I'm like, open book, a clean blank, canvas. I'm ready to paint it. Let's do this. Let's make this happen. I want to change my life. And it was interesting to see all the different dynamics of where we've come to where we are now. And just talking to the 4 of us here tonight, I'm going to go around and ask each one of us. I'll start with Michael first. Michael, what do you feel was the biggest lesson you learned from ending your relationship and to where you are now? And what is it you still want or hope to find?
Prenup. No. No, like I said, you got to make sure that your lives can intertwine. And I heard the thing about communication, and I think of Sparky or Steve said one. Just because you're hearing don't mean you're listening and taking it in. And I think I've said that before. Communication, excuse me, is always the key. And like I said, and it's one of the things, I would like to find somebody that would have, the hobbies, and the running joke is must love dogs. I've got 2 big old puppies that are not going nowhere. They're good boys, good girls. And like I said, but anymore, after you get a certain age, it gets to a point where you have to it's like the Brady Bunch, yours, mine, and ours. Because people's got their own pets that they want to bring in. It's not only are you compatible with this other person, but will your lives intertwine if they have pets?
Or children.
Or children. Oh yeah. I got, Lordy mercy. I got 1 out of 3 ain't bad. That's all I'm going to say. Jesus Christ. But
1 out of 3 ain't bad. That's a third of all the requirements, I guess.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 1 out of 3 ain't bad. But Wendy knows what I'm talking about. 2 are shits and 1's pretty good. And that's like people tell him, stand there and be quiet. You're winning by doing nothing. You're not screwing up. And everybody's like, oh, that's harsh. No, it's not. It's truth. And, that's what I tell people. Be truthful going in. If you build a house on a stack of lies and deception and deceit, the foundation will always be shit.
And that comes from both of you, like both of you coming from that. Do you think, Michael, and I'm going to ask each of us this, do you think that you would make a good husband now or partner?
Probably. I don't know. Like I said, I'm pretty set in my ways.
That's not it. That's not yes or no. That's potentially.
I was in the Army a long time. I'm fairly trainable. What is it?
There's a dog. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what I said.
It is like, do you think you would make a good husband right now?
I don't think I was never like a bad husband. I just think, when you get older, you kind of you learn more like how important like the little things are in life, like birthdays, anniversaries. When I was 20 some years old, I could give a fuck off if it was somebody's birthday. It wasn't my birthday. I could care less. Oh, and and the big one, motherfucker, you know what day it is? What, fucking Thursday? Goddamn, I don't know. I'm worried about working 20 hours a day, paying the mortgage and the insurance on 2 cars. I'm not worried. And that's where men and women are different. But like I said, men are like big puppies. I tell them that. As long as they're not hungry. Oh, men are trainable. That would be on unapologetically male. That's what I'm saying. You pat us on the head, say good boy. You rub our belly or the right spot, and you feed it.
Michael, I want the answer. Yes or no?
I don't think I was never a bad husband.
That's not what she's asking.
No, that's not what I'm asking. Right now,
you just gotta say yes or no.
Would you think you would be a better partner now?
Yes, absolutely. Because I've grown with age, and I'm more, and I've mellowed with age. I really have. And you see
that is a very good point.
From the time you met me till now, what is it going on 3.5, 4 years? How and you could probably see the difference now between then and now with the.
Just see my girl's coming on. Hang on a second. I'll be with you 1 second, Sparky. Before I go to Sparky, I'm going to bring on Michael. So you're saying that you would be a better husband and partner now because of everything you've been through, and you are in a different mindset.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you think that you would like to have a relationship that could be for the rest of your life, or just now and then?
If I had my own space and time that I could kind of get away to myself, and that way, and sometimes I have figured out, sometimes I need to shut myself back in a way, so I'm not because most of them I'm inner destructive, and if somebody keeps trying to get in, then it becomes outer destructive. So, which happens to relationships or whatever. And but like I said, sometimes I just want to be shut back, with the dogs, and I tell them, 4-legged therapists are the best. They don't never tell your deepest, darkest secrets. And when he gets pictures of Poseidon, a lot of times I tell him, holster up here, and he gets right up there.
So many pictures of Poseidon. I'm going to bring Sparky in. Here she is.
All
Hello,
right.
darling.
Hello, darling. How are you?
It's so lovely to see you, darling. How are you? It's so lovely.
Well, I was summoned, really, wasn't I?
Welcome to the little family here. How are you doing tonight?
Very good, very good. I have my stein of water, so I'm prepared.
Are you enjoying? What is your take on the show so far?
Well, as you might have seen in the comments, I am one of those people who, hello, darling, who I had a very bad experience when I was 21, and that was my last official relationship, and I'm now 31. So I was with someone for 3 years. It was a very toxic relationship, and since then I've kind of kept myself to myself, and just out of preservation, really, self-preservation. I have friends, but I have few friends. I don't tend to kind of spread myself out amongst many people. I have very particular people who I am friendly with, and others I will give them a very courtesy nod and say have a lovely day kind of thing. But yeah, I have this weird inbuilt fear when it comes to anything relationship wise, but part of that also could be because in my life as such I have only ever seen very, very bad marriages.
Yeah.
Marriages that shouldn't be a marriage, and marriages that have dissipated over time, and you can see it happening, especially when you're a kid and people don't think that you're paying attention, but you pay attention more than most.
Kids are most definitely sponges.
Kids are more perceptive than we give them credit for.
They are.
Absolutely. And I was told that I was annoyingly perceptive, and I was seeing things that I shouldn't have seen.
Oh, it's your fault that you got ears and,
Oh, yeah.
and you're not blind. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah. No, totally.
Val, do you think
No
that
problem.
now in this time in your life you would be a better partner and a wife?
I think I would be better than I was when I was actually, a wife. Depending on if I found the right person or not. I think that at this age, and I've had this, I've been alone and everything for so long, it would take a while for me to, kind of, I would have to change my life to include someone else.
Do you feel like you want to do that, or you're ready to do that?
If the situation arises, I'm not opposed to it. I'm not actively out looking for a husband because
Shopping.
it would take a special kind of person to live with me.
Belle's not out on Tinder saying must love cats.
No.
That'd be a whole.
I had that on my profile because I have dog and cat on it, and I was like, must love dog and cat.
Yeah, but I think from the experience that I've had and what I have lived through up until now, I mean, if I decided that I wanted to get married again, I think I would be better than I was.
You call me and I'll check and make sure you don't have a fever first, Val. I'm close enough. I can come check and make sure you're not having a fever.
Oh
I'm
my!
having a what?
A fever. Make sure she's not sick.
Oh, a fever. I was like, where are you going with this? I heard
I
something.
don't know. My head's all stopped up because I don't have a fever. I'm just congested as hell.
I heard something that rhymes with fever.
Oh yeah. Hey.
What was that, Jason?
Small, semi-aquatic woodland
Beaver.
mammal.
Yeah, beaver. Yeah.
Likes to gnaw on trees.
Let's look at you. How do you feel about that? Do you feel like you're in that sort of you'd be a better partner and husband this time?
Who, me?
Yeah. Yeah. When you tell me you're getting married, I'll I'll extend the same courtesy to you. I'll come over and bring my med kit and make sure you're not.
Oh, shush.
Say he is so ill.
I can honestly say that yes, I would be more than likely a better husband than I was. I'd be a better husband than I potentially would have been when I was in that 5-year relationship where I was engaged. Life has a way of teaching you things about yourself, and I think one of the really hard things that I've had to do is do a lot of inward reflection on how I fucked things up, because, and I've had these arguments with people before where it's like, okay, cool, you've put something on Facebook or something about how, you know, why don't men want me, or why don't women want me, or, you know, why can't I find a whatever
Facebook posts. Oh my God.
The
Right,
vaguely
yeah.
cryptic ones.
totally cringe, right? But it's like, you know, and I've gone in there in a comment and been like, okay, cool. So you're tired of doing this alone, and you've been divorced for 9 or 10 years, and you still have no one.
Oh,
What are you doing to make yourself a desirable partner?
oh, I
And-
got one better than that
and
one.
it
Have you
turns
seen the one
into-
where it says, "I know my worth"?
It turns into a discussion of, you know, oh, so like I'm the problem, and I'm like, look, I'm not saying you're the problem, but if you look at every failed relationship, whether it is romantic, whether it is friendship, whether it is professional, there is one common denominator between all of them, and that is yourself.
Yep.
And that doesn't mean that that horrible relationship was your fault, but there are things and decisions that you could have made, actions you could have taken, things you could have handled, whether it was being more understanding or being more compassionate or leaving sooner or putting up boundaries or whatever that you could have done and you did not do.
Yep.
And
So
you have
fixing
to
for
look in the
compliments,
mirror.
where does that fit in?
Say again.
What was that, Val?
Say again, over.
Fishing for compliments. You know,
Who's
where they
fishing for compliments?
saying-
I'm not.
no,
No,
I'm
she said
talking
it,
about
yeah,
people who
like,
Oh,
post
like
things
a-
on Facebook and other places, and they're, you know,
Looking
to
for
me that would be
sympathy
a
or
red
whatever.
flag.
yeah.
I mean,
Oh.
that's the thing though, is like you have to have become mature enough to have the hard look in the mirror and be like, yeah, you know,
Maybe
you're
it's
kind of
me.
fucked up, dude.
So you say, I mean, myself,
I've done
I
a lot
feel
of
like
that, so I would be
like
better than I
they're
was. That's for
better
sure. But
I feel like anyone who needs that validation from strangers, pretty much, you know, it's a big red flag. Plus, they haven't necessarily found themselves yet.
No.
They're still really insecure.
Right.
I think we're all aware of a particular situation, seeing someone going through a marital end and
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole.
and literally I have been looking at Facebook and seeing certain things, and I wonder if it's a way of expressing the stuff that you need to get out of yourself, and you have no one else, or perhaps you feel like you have to express it and put it out to the universe that way, because some people do that. They have to, they have to express it. I'm not saying that it's the right way. I'm not saying it's the cringe way. And what I'm saying is that sometimes we do it that way, and I don't know if it's a validation. I think it's sometimes you just need to get it out of your system, Sparky. And I think that I think you and I have probably seen people along the way in our lifetime that have done that, have put up something. What the ones I can't stand, and when people just go, I'm mad, and people go, why? And they go, PM me, and they're like,
Yeah.
No,
please do that.
No.
if you're mad and you want to talk, message me. I am to go about my day,
yeah.
fucker.
But if
Yeah,
someone
yeah,
No,
always
no,
put yourself
because
back
I
in.
want all these strangers to worry about me.
yeah,
The thing
Oh.
is, as well, like, this is going to sound a bit odd, but I'm of the age of, during my teenage years, Facebook was
come
about.
closer to the mic.
Oh, sorry, Dan.
Yeah.
I'm of the age of, during my teenage years, Facebook was about.
Yep.
So for a lot of the kids at school, they'd have like a shit day, and then they'd go home and they'd go, "Oh, my life, this, that, and the other." So to me, a post like that is very much a teenage thing to do.
Yeah.
Very
It's
much.
very
And
juvenile.
yeah, very juvenile, very immature. So when I see things like that happen, I've seen my own mother do it, and I just look and I'm going, that's not the way. That's not how we do this.
What happened to suffering in silence?
Right? I mean, that's not healthy. You know,
Well, I mean,
Contact-
what happened
contact
to
the
best
therapist.
friends calling a friend
Yeah.
and talking
Yeah.
about it and somebody
That's
putting it
what I'm
out on for the world to see?
Oh,
Send
Val,
it.
we've had those conversations, have we not?
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
last time I put anything about my relationship that I was in, you know, a relationship that I was in on social media, on Facebook, being something like, you know, where I'm complaining about the failure of something or bitching about it, was literally what, 9 years ago, something like that. Like, and honestly, it was a moment of pettiness where, you know, I basically gotten left because it's like, you're not going to really amount to anything, so I'm going to get out of here. And then like a few weeks later, I got picked up for a government job finally, after I'd been like, you know, applying to everything in the world. And so like there was a little bit of a something there, but like after that I was like, no man, you know what? I'm done with this crap. Like this is juvenile, and this person, through how they have been treating me, or drawing out a part of myself that I've matured past. This is not right. Like, nope. And now all I do is, you know, harass my friends who make really stupid comments on like public post things from pages when they're being idiots, and you know, things like that. Other than that, I just post memes and laugh at crap. But
Oh, I was going to say, you went from petty to trolling. Okay.
I think a relationship, when it's coming to when it's dying,
Yeah.
or it's coming to an end, you know, because it becomes so difficult. The sex goes out the window. Sometimes it's the last thing to go, actually, but
Mhm.
sex goes out the window. The intimacy goes. And when I talk about intimacy, I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about the real closeness between you, the bond.
Yeah.
And if you got someone who says, I'm going to use this, and I'm sure he won't mind me using this, but somebody who's with someone that says, I don't want to live with you. I'm not even sure I want to marry you now. When someone tells you something like that, they're telling you the truth.
Yeah.
They're telling you the truth. I don't want to marry you. I don't want to live with you. But they also don't want to let you go, because you might bring something beneficial into their life. And I think that if there's someone else in the background, sometimes it can be easier to let go of someone, because you've got that potential of what
You've got that to fall. You've got that other person to fall back on, and you're not
Back on-
alone.
yeah.
It
You
is.
know,
It's a plan B at that point. It's
You
like,
know what I'm saying?
nobody should be a plan B.
exactly.
But
And you don't want to be the person who ends up being the plan B, and you don't want to find out that you're the plan B.
Yeah. I said this the other day, and somebody I was talking, because I knew what the thing was going to be about, and I said, most women don't jump out of a relationship without having a backup plan. And they're like, not this one. I'm like,
Well, but backup plan doesn't have to be a person.
is it? And I'm like, women, most of the time.
I do want to throw that out there. In all fairness, backup plan or plan B does not have to be another potential lover, mate, partner, whatever.
Yeah.
It can literally be life directed, which is what happened to me. You know, she left and she wanted to pursue being an editor and doing all of these things and all of that stuff, and working at the company she was working at, trying to get to where she could get away from that to go do that. She couldn't pursue that following my career.
But that's what I'm saying. You know, a lot of times it's more strategically planned exit.
Mm,
That,
I think so. I mean,
I would give credence to. Yes.
I discovered
Well,
that.
even go ahead.
Oh,
I discovered that when my marriage was ending, he'd already spoken to his mother. There already was a deposit for a flat. There already was a flat ready. You know,
Mhm.
there was already someone to come and help move him out. It was just me. I was the final one that didn't know what was happening. I was right at the end of it. And by the time I actually discovered what was going on, it was already planned out, and it was,
Yeah.
you know, it was all gone like that.
So there was no opportunity to talk it
no,
through or anything at that
no.
point.
but like I said, you know, he talked to his mother, and his mother, being, you know, a woman, said, you know, look, this is what you do. This is your exit plan.
Right.
Because most of the time men are more impulsive.
But
I've
then
had
I also know of mother-in-laws who would go, absolutely not. You go and sit down and you have a conversation.
yeah, be a
And-
grown up.
But you knew, but I think
But I also know of potential mother-in-laws who will sit there and undermine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
But I think it's clear that he didn't want to sit down and talk by
No.
texting.
Yeah.
I want a divorce.
I
So
had
that's a
many
big
unkind things to
indication
say.
he doesn't want to sit down and talk face to face.
I think it's far easier, and I know it's some of the old days, but we are, like, apart from the lovely Sparky, we are Generation X, and we come from that generations where you did things face to face. There wasn't any texting, there wasn't social media. You had to pick up the phone, you had to knock on the door, and I think it was a better way to be, because you had to face it, and you didn't.
Well, you
have
were
to go,
forced to.
hide.
hold on.
You were forced to.
I have
you
to
know,
say something.
Speak.
I have to say something.
Oh God, go on.
Sparky, I just want you to know,
Go on.
Jason.
being a Xennial, having 1 foot in Gen X and 1 foot in the millennials,
It
a
does.
elder millennial, as like those losers who can't accept that they're, you know, in between, like, no, to be accepted and referred to as a Gen Xer, there is a sweetness there, Sparky. There is a succulence. There is this wonderful
Going
glory
Italian with it.
that you
Going Italian.
as a millennial will never be able to experience and enjoy, and it's delicious, and I am going to gloat for it just for a minute at you about how awesome it is, and that you will never be able to share this.
That's fine. It's like a lot of things. It's fine.
But it's true. Like, we had to knock on the door. We had to send a letter.
Yeah.
We had to pick the phone up, and it's like, now you get ghosted.
Latchkey kids.
You
Yeah,
get
I forgot
AI. You
Yeah.
get AI to write you a letter goodbye and sign it at the bottom of it.
Yeah. And it's
you
like,
know-
oh, it's not you, it's me. I
Yeah.
love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Or
And
you
it's
get people that go,
Mhm.
you need to read this. You need to read this. And, you know, instead of like coming to see someone saying, listen, we need to sit down, we need to talk, we need
like
to
an adult.
sort it out. They don't do that. So I think that we've
I got
lost.
a caveat with that as well.
I think we've lost a lot along the way. And I think my ex-husband definitely took that tone when he sent me a text message saying, I don't want this anymore.
Oh, that was
So,
back
well,
in the
see,
days
to
when
me,
women
those
were like,
people,
really
to
taken out.
me, it just shows that he was a chicken shit, that he didn't want to
And
talk
a
to you.
severe
10
lack of
o'clock
care
at
as well.
night. 10
Yeah.
o'clock at night. He couldn't do it at 8 o'clock in the morning, 2
Well,
o'clock
no,
in the
because then you
afternoon.
would have time to respond.
Yeah.
It's a chicken shit way out.
Totally.
You don't have to talk to anybody. You don't have to look them in the eye. You
Yeah.
can send it and be done with it.
I mean, it wasn't at least it wasn't a complete just ghosting.
True.
Oh, I suppose there was
Fine.
something.
True. But
Find-
it's still
find the
chicken. It's
silver
still
lining.
chicken shit. It's
I
still
mean-
chicken shit.
I think
I
I'd
just
rather
remembered
get a
that we
text
were on the
message at
podcast,
10.
so I stopped
Yeah.
myself from saying something.
Oh,
Oh my God, Sparky's like, you know,
Start out, Sparky. You
I'm-
can't say anything.
I'm in the
anything worse
public
than I do.
forum. I should probably bite my tongue. I mean,
I never do, Jason. Just go with it.
yeah.
So the thing is, when we were looking at this topic tonight, it was like, I do, I don't. So both of you wanted it, both of you got into it, both of you had the same path, the same dream, etc., etc. And then one of you said, I don't, because I don't love you, I don't fancy you. You didn't come up to my expectations. I expected you to. I thought by now we would be doing this. I expected we would be doing that. It hasn't come up to it. I don't want to take care of you. I don't want the fact that you're ill. I don't want to be a nursemaid or have to take you in and out of hospital or be through there. You don't earn enough money. You don't earn enough money for me. What an arsehole that is. You don't earn enough money for me. So I'm gonna, and find someone. Good luck on that one, because dating sites are a nightmare.
Yes.
I want to find someone who can provide for me. And at the end of the day, all these other reasons, your world is pulled apart, like your life and your marriage is pulled apart and your relationship. I have been engaged. I have been married in my time. Do I regret my marriages? Not at all, because they brought me the wonderful life and friends that I've had. Do I regret my engagements? Not really. No, not at all. One of them, probably, yes, I could have got away with that, but it changed me into who I am. And I think, Val, when we looked at this subject, it was like, if you're coming, else if you, and I use this example, if you're coming out of a long-term relationship or marriage and you're in your 50s to 60s, you are starting brand new out there. Like, you are not been used to the dating world. You've given most of your life to your home, your family, your children, and all of a sudden it's like you're losing that. You're losing your home.
And it's nothing. Dating now is absolutely nothing the way it was when we were kids.
Oh,
Absolutely.
No. I mean,
now you got friends with
I wouldn't know where
benefits
to start,
and all that.
honestly.
And I think, didn't we cover that, like friends with benefits or casual hookups and all of that? Because it's a whole different
Yeah, but
demographic
if you're
of
actually
whatever.
looking for someone, and it may not be a husband, it may just be a companion.
Nothing wrong.
Get it
As
all.
long as you're
you
making
know,
clear.
it's so different now.
What is that poor cat got to call me shame on for?
For your information, you are all nodding. Not the same. What the fuck?
Too much.
We're all
Regarding
nodding.
not the same thing, I guess. Are you okay? What are you
I
doing?
think we all know that, we know people that are going through difficult times right now. And for instance, the other thing as well I've discovered as well is marriages really have a way of, some marriages, not all, some people really know how to leave a lot of damage and baggage with you. That when you
Yes.
get into a next relationship, you're kind of like expecting it to go down that road, expecting it to be that way, or I gave everything to my last marriage. I gave everything to that wife. I've got nothing left to give you. Don't get in another fucking relationship then. Because
Leave
if
me
you've got
be.
nothing to
Yeah.
fucking give anyone,
I think it's time to stay home by yourself and maybe recharge.
yeah.
What did
Find
you do to that
yourself.
poor cat? What's the cat got on the cone of shame for?
Because he doesn't stop scratching and he's got some kind of allergy
got the
going on
same
right
as,
now. Yeah.
Same as
Shave your
Well,
cat.
at least the cat's not
my
showing
black
us
my black cat does the same thing.
It's really frustrating because he doesn't scratch. He attempts to take his skin off. There's no in between.
same as fun.
It's so, hence why we're on week 5 of the cone.
The cone of shame.
The cone of shame.
So shameful.
Poor little bugger.
He's putting so much weight on my shoulder.
T-shirt needed.
You've seen mine. They look like a little train
Did you know?
Yeah.
going in and out behind me.
That's the
you're
I
same.
would,
He's
you're
on
I
the
would,
ground.
I would tease Val about being the crazy cat lady, but I'm the crazy dog guy, so I get it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
She's happy with her cats like I am with my dogs, and everybody's like, "Them are 2 big dogs." I was like, "More to cry on."
But this is going to sound weird because I'd quite happily share my life with someone again and my home. I would, a home. I'm not going to rephrase that. Not my home, a home. Because if you're in a relationship, it should be yours, as in ours, not his and hers, right?
But Wendy, that says a lot about you, and it says a lot about the people that no matter how bad they've had it in the past,
Mhm.
they're still willing to open their heart up to someone.
Absolutely.
It hasn't damaged them to the point where they're just cynical of everyone and
Yep.
and so jaded that they refuse to put their wall down, and they're so bitter that there's no chance of finding anything again because they won't allow it.
Yeah.
My mom had a word for that. Hopeless romantic.
I don't think I'm a hopeless romantic. I actually think I'm probably very what word I want to use is I'm pretty grounded, actually.
Optimistic.
I'm happy with someone and I'm happy without. I'm happy on my
See,
own.
that's
happy
me.
Optimistic.
If I
yeah,
never get married again,
hopeful.
if I whatever, I'm good.
But
I'm
if I
okay.
don't meet someone, then
But
I'll
if
just
I do, I'm okay. It's it's kind of down the middle. I'm not looking for anyone, but if I happen to find someone, if I'm not wanting to get married, but if it happens, it's kind of just kind of laid back, letting life flow.
You know what I say? If I trip over something and they bring pizza and treats for the dogs, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
they're in.
I've got, because like I said, the dog's got to bet whoever comes in. The queen of the house don't take no shit. And I'll tell them, she runs her house with an arm paw.
Actually, that's a very good point, because if they don't like your dog or cat and they make a point, and I've been there, that is a big red flag to actually go, hang on a minute, this person's in my home, they're meeting my fur babies.
That's not a red flag. That's a big get your ass in the car and leave.
Pack your shit and keep on trucking.
Your dog sleeps on your bed.
Yes, they do.
Yes, he does.
And is fur everywhere? And no, well, actually, no, but yes, they can be.
That's confetti. That's love confetti.
Exactly, fur confetti.
Yeah,
and
that's right.
And
that is love glitter.
The dog wants to be with you everywhere, and you're like, yeah, that is also can be, with all due respect, intimidating to some people who aren't like that. But I think
that's just saying they're not for you.
Good boy, and Mila's such a good girl. They will watch you while you're in the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? And they don't care if they know you well or not. They will.
I have an audience every time I go. So
that's what I'm saying. Yeah. You go in there. It's like, make sure you lock the door.
Since I had my first daughter 27 years ago, I've had an audience when I go to the bathroom, so I'm so used to it.
But I think
I wondered if the fact that our pets like to follow us in the bathroom, especially dogs, is something that is learned by them from an early age of when
we follow them outside.
To make sure they yes. But then it's like, now they're like, oh, they're out here with me. I must go with them in there in solidarity as they,
now I don't follow my
technically that's what they do.
Mom, stop watching me.
Technically that's what they're doing, though. They're protecting you.
They
are doing your
business.
business.
Logical issue that they have that comes.
Like, I've got
I don't follow my cats outside to the bathroom, but
Can you stop?
Oh my God! Look at that pusskin. I mean, literally, he's like, "Mom,
come here.
I'm here.
I'm busy."
Like, seriously, I'm here. The other thing as well about, and I have to bring this up point up,
Jesus
because I think
Christ.
it's a good point to look at before we end. Some people don't realize how good they do have it, and they think the grass is greener on the other side. So they think that if they leave that relationship, which is boring, and maybe it's got the sexist shit, and maybe this, that, and the other, they're going to go onto the grass outside. They might leave their partner. They might go off and have a fling with someone and come back. Or they may just go and have a fling and never come back. Or they may just get back together. And it makes you think, is the grass greener on the other side? Or is the fact that you haven't looked at your situation with wide eyes?
The grass is green where you water it.
Exactly.
I will say, I will
Well,
say
we're good women,
And
Sparky.
a lot of times the
that
grass is so green over there because it's full of shit because it's fertilized.
90% of my exes have all wanted to come back because they knew they made a mistake.
You know.
Yeah.
But I warned them beforehand. You're messing
And if
up.
they've done it once, they'll do it again.
Yep.
Pretty much.
And notice none are back. But I told them, you're messing up. But, you know,
Because I'm aware of situations where they, they treated me really badly. There's not enough money, and or the sex was this, or they did this, that, and the other, and then they go with someone else, or they leave the marriage, they end it, they even divorce them sometimes, and then they go, "What the fuck was I thinking? Oh my god, I've left a really good person, man, woman,
Yeah.
whatever." And now
Oops.
I've lost them, and I remember when my first marriage ended, he's a very good man, very, very good man, and I was like, I had so much guilt and so much stuff for me. I walked straight into an abusive relationship going, you need to abuse me, you need to give me as much shit as possible because I deserve it, because I'm a terrible person for what I've done. And 4.5 years of constant emotional and physical abuse, and then almost like going, why are you staying here, Wendy? Why are you doing this? And then 4.5 years later actually leaving, and I wonder why, looking back, I was beating myself up totally for giving up a good man and a good marriage. And I think that's what my advice to anyone out there, and I don't give advice, I can give guidance. My only guidance I can give to anyone out there who's in a situation where their marriage, and Val, I'm sure you'll come up with your point as well. Be really sure this is what you want if you're going to end something, because once you end it, it is over. You cannot, even if you get back with them, it's never going to be the same again. You need to be 120% more that you want this done. I don't feel anything. It's gone. I don't fancy you. I don't love you. I don't hold any love for you. Let it go, right? If you're the person who's being told, I don't love you, I don't want to be with you, it's not the same anymore, it's not working, open the door and let them out. Because at the end of the day, if you hold on to someone tighter, that way they'll run away anyway. That would be my guidance. The other point I want to make, and before I hand over to Val, is literally, if you fuck up and you make a mistake and you go, I want to come back, you need to look at yourself fucking hard before you do that, because you've already damaged someone. You've damaged yourself. How many more people are you going to carry on damaging before you actually think that maybe there's not someone out there to save you. Maybe there isn't another person out there who's going to pay for everything and make you feel good. What if the truth is we're all on our own? And we might find people that come along on the journey to help us through the journey, but actually there isn't a happy ever after. I don't know that. I'm optimistic. I hope there is. What about your thoughts, Val? What do you think?
Well, I think we all hope there is a happy ever after, but I think when you're young, you have a certain idea of what marriage is. And after you've been there, done that, we have a totally, different idea of what it is. I think younger people should listen to older people. Mm-hmm. When we tell them,
yeah, you hear that,
about
younger
red
person?
flags,
Yeah.
and about, I'm sorry,
that's going to happen.
What'd you say?
He said to Sparky, are you hearing this?
Younger person.
Younger person. Yeah.
Honestly, I feel like if you're in a relationship, whether you're married or dating or whatever, if you really don't want to be there, then you should have enough courage to tell them. I can't do this. If they don't want to be there, then you should let them go. It's going to be hard, and it does hurt. But in the long run, it's so much better for both of you.
That's why they make bourbon.
But I mean,
And I
it's so
also
much
think-
better for your self-esteem.
100%.
I mean, I myself don't want someone to be here if I have to make them be here. I want them to be with me because they want to be here.
Oh,
If I'm, if I'm married to someone and they're just married, they just stay with me because of, money or
Convenience.
exactly. I don't want that. I want someone who wants to be with me, not just in this circumstance. You know what I mean?
so you're not going to Kathy Bates nobody like in Misery.
No.
You're not going to hobble nobody.
But
So I'm
you-
doing this for your own
do
benefit.
you not see though that there are situations, and you see them on social media as well,
Yeah.
people that do, and it drives me crazy. They split up with someone and they put it all over social media. They slate them one way or the other, and it's like, do us a favor, grow the fuck up. Don't put your life out on social media. Have a private life for a reason. We don't need to see what's going on in your private life. You can share things like, here's me at the zoo. Here's me with my cat. And here's the car. But
don't
I
even do
don't
that no
need
more.
to know. We don't need to know the ins and outs of your private life.
Right.
And then the
Yeah,
worst
they-
bit,
You really do need to
Yeah.
know because I need validation.
Yeah.
You see,
well, the worst bit is when they
that's
go
the big
on
point.
2 days later and they go, "Oh, we're back together."
I
Oh,
know.
yeah. Yeah.
Right.
It wasn't my fault. that
All
was
is
all
right
the-
in the world. We're back together.
I love you so much.
And
Take
it's
care
like,
of
what was
Abby."
what was I thinking? We're really good together. No, what you're thinking is the fact that it's okay
Damage
to actually to leave and get your jollies or whatever,
Yeah.
and you thought the grass was greener and actually it's not. And I think that
It's
it's
spur the
hurtful
lines
to the
with horse
partner.
shit.
I need to dip out, guys. So I will catch up with all y'all later. It has been lovely.
Bye.
Okay. I will catch up with you guys later.
JP.
Right.
See you,
Bye.
buddy.
Be good to one another.
No.
Well, I sound-
Bye.
JP.
I just think that
Please, JP.
as you get older, Val, we've learned not to put everything out there on social
Sure,
media.
yeah.
And I think
mean,
that
There's very little that I put out.
yeah.
I put out certain things, but my intimate life, just here at home, whatever,
Mhm.
I don't put a lot of that out. It's
Some
just
people
because,
don't care though. They put the old washing out there for everyone.
well,
to-
it's just, to me, I feel like it's nobody's business but my own.
Then they wonder why
If
people
it's-
judge them. I'm like,
If
yeah.
it's
you don't wanna be
someone,
judged,
if it's
you can
something
talk.
that I want people to know, okay.
Absolutely.
I don't want people to know my, every little thing that I'm doing.
Like, why? Why do we need to know? You can just put a statement, or if you need to feel the need to put a statement. But I think the thing about human beings, we're a curious bunch. We see a statement go out, we go, I wonder, or the photograph goes missing, or it suddenly goes single status, or there's something else out there, and you go, oh, there's trouble at mill. Trouble at mill here. There's something going on, right? There's trouble at mill, and you want to know, right? You want to know, but at the same time, and then I was looking at a couple of people's social medias in the last couple of weeks, and they seem to be in a situation where they're like, they've scrubbed the photograph out of the person they're with. They've scrubbed them out, and there's just like this, where this person was. And it's like, is that what we're doing now? Is it? We can't just cut the photograph. We have to scrub them out. It's
We need the emotion behind it, not just the
Yeah.
cropping.
absolutely.
But and there was some very lovely lady here that told me here a while back. She said, I know how you follow it. She said, you like watching the fallout. I said, it's like a car crash. I am emotionally invested in your shitstorm, because when I see your shit falling apart, in all of this umbrella
pot.
into this big.
It's because we're friggin' morbid and we want to know whatever
I'm like,
the
holy
shit that
Yeah.
everybody else is going through. Makes
You
me
don't
feel
morbid
better about
interest.
myself.
And as much as I don't want to get involved, but I'm like, hey, did you see this? This is some weird shit going on here. And they're like,
I mean, you're watching it, and I don't tell anybody I'm watching it, but I'm watching it.
and you
It's
can
a,
see this
it's a
shit.
car crash.
You
And
know,
Yeah.
you see it implode in real time, and it's like, holy fuck, that got dark quick. And people ask me, they say, why don't you watch TV? I said, I watch YouTube, you know, if I want to be entertained. I said, I don't need to watch fake drama when I can watch it in real life.
YouTube's very dramatic.
I'm like,
Potentially, that might be a
like,
big
holy
reason as to why a lot of people are addicted to that kind of thing. Because
Oh yeah.
for so many years, it's been
Yeah.
EastEnders, Coronation Street, Emmerdale, so on.
Absolutely.
yeah, it's it.
And people are so drawn in to the drama that's been written. When they see it in real life, they go, oh my God, I can see it firsthand.
It's it.
But they
Yeah.
don't actually realize that it's the same thing.
It's the same endorphins in your head.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
and you get so emotionally invested into these people destroy their life, and it's like, oh, maybe I should give him a second chance. You want to send him a message like, no, we all know he's a dirty, evil bastard. You know, he's your sister's friend. No, you can't take him back. Don't do it.
We
It's
can
like-
see what's happening.
it's
Why
like-
can't you see this?
Colleen's got a very good point. They post
Very.
it's the other person's fault and make horrible accusations. Then 2 weeks later, they're back together and it's someone else's fault. It makes your head spin. And also,
I
it's
wasn't going to bring that up, but I know what she's talking about.
and the other thing as well, I need to say on this point is that when you put something out on social media these days, it's out there forever.
Forever,
Mhm.
ever,
Right?
ever.
There
ever,
is someone who will remember it forever. And you
Yeah.
have to remember that you be careful. Some people don't care and they let their temper or whatever, but you have to remember whatever you put out is there forever. So make sure whatever you put out, you're happy about putting out there, especially when it comes to your relationship, because at one time you loved that person, one time you respected them, and at one time you wanted to be with them. And it's like, and then when you say, you know, it's ending or it's over or this has happened, it's terrible, whatever. And the next, I mean, I've done it. I'm as guilty. Years ago, there was one relationship that literally pushed my buttons and I was like putting everything out there. And it was out there for about 3 or 4 hours and I deleted it and I've never done it since. I put up a photo on my profile page of me with a guy. And everyone was like, oh my God, Wendy, the first picture of you is for a profile picture of a guy in years. You must be dating him. I'm like, maybe I just like the picture. Maybe I just liked, you know, maybe I am seeing him. Maybe I'm not. Did I change my
profile
relationship
picture is me and
status?
Mark Shepherd.
Not
you
at
know.
all. No, I didn't. I kept it exactly the same. There is no relationship status on my page. And
Okay.
until I marry someone or it changes, it will stay exactly the same because people do that all the time. You know, I'm engaged to someone, I'm married to someone again. And it's like, no, unless you're actually getting married and you go through the whole ding dong I do, don't put it
Yeah.
out there.
But you know what gets me? It's like, oh, I found the love of my life for the third time this year. I'm thinking, I
Yeah.
can't find my damn
your
slippers 3
life?
times. You know what
How
I'm saying?
many damn loves of your life are you
Like,
having? I
you
mean,
know
How
what?
many lives are you having in 1 year?
yeah.
How many relationships are you having in a year?
and,
Yeah.
So many more than me.
y'all know why the days of our lives. You know, here we had a soap opera that was on for years. It started on radio when I was here. The Days of Our Lives,
Oh yeah.
or As the World Turns, or Guiding Light. You know, them was my mom's 3 big soap operas. You know, the reason they went out of business and they don't put them out no more. People can do their own As the World Turns. You know, and you can, like I said, I'm like, holy fuck me. And oh, look at Vampire. Oh, and somebody said he was a mean kitty. He don't look mean.
How
He's
could he
not a
be
mean
mean? I'm so
kitty.
sorry if he cuts us off. We don't need to see that. Huckleberry is right here, and I'm trying to
Yeah.
separate them. Do you want to come say hi? Do you wanna
Hi,
come say hi?
Huckle.
I'm trying to
Hucklebuckle.
get him to come up, but come on in. Come
He
on
kind
in.
of does what he
Here he
wants.
is.
Oh,
Here
there
he
he
is.
is.
Hello, Huckle. Look at the baby. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. I have to bring the camera down so you can. There he is.
Hi, baby boy.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
I have
He
the
gives the
fur
best
children
cuddles.
with me. You don't
Yes.
often make an appearance, do you? Eh?
He's more fur than dog, ain't he? He's more for that.
Mine's
That's
being
like
particularly annoying.
Poseidon here. When I first ended up with Poseidon, I was like, I don't want another dog. I got
Yeah.
Mila. I don't want another dog. And Wendy's like, get the little bastard out and show him some love.
Get him
Look at look at them eyes. I'm like, but he shits in the floor. He chews up my cords.
Yes.
Yeah,
Very
but you
bad.
love him.
Those.
And
I have one.
I have one
He's
too.
sitting here right beside. If I can show you, like you can see, like where is he? Oh, Huckleberry. He's just lying
Just
down
on the
there.
edge.
I really enjoyed the show tonight. I'm trying to get my camera back to normal. Sorry. Really enjoyed the show tonight. It's been fun. It's so nice to be back. And Sparky, it's so lovely that you came and joined us.
yeah,
Well,
now
I was here
now-
from the beginning. I was chuckling away to myself and trying to type very quickly, and then there was, well, Sparky should just come in here, and I went, I probably should. So then I jumped on the computer.
Yeah.
glad to have you. You know what I'm saying? And everybody's like, oh, what if I go live and I say something inappropriate? I say, welcome to my world. Sometimes I say shit that comes out that even shocks me. I'm like,
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, that's it. I'm like, I've had a few TDIs.
Oh my God, what an amazing comment. Awesome show. I'm going to watch it again. I'm blown away by the sharing of experiences and wisdom, and I wish you all love and well-being. Thank you, and I hope to see some of you in the comments. Thank you, Steve. That really
Now
means
we
a
get
lot.
Steve to come on. Come on, Steve. You can do it on your phone. You can do it on your laptop.
We encourage. Listen, Wicked Women is, as I said when we started this, it was if we made a difference to one person, and we've had many women come along the way and join us for a while, and some just for the occasional. Val and I have always been the major two at the beginning of this, but we've had other women come along who've shared their lives and stories, and we're grateful for that. But we're always saying to new people, come and join us, even if you come in and join in the conversation, because if we make a
Absolutely.
difference to one person,
Yep.
that's what it's here for. And
We
your
all have
cat.
different experiences. Yes,
Yes.
Sure.
I need to
We
know
all
where the
have-
nickname Sparky come from. That's what I need to know about.
it's just my name. It's just my name. It's
That's-
my
that's-
gamer tag. My gamer tag is Sparky Nomad.
Oh.
And I stream video games and stuff. So that's
Oh,
where
so
that
you got a
comes from.
Twitch. So you got
Yeah.
a Twitch.
That's where that comes. I'm not advertising. But that's where that comes from. And it was the idea of trying to find something which described me. So the direct translation or dictionary description, there you go, of Sparky and Nomad is lively and energetic and someone who moves around a lot.
Oh, but when
Shoved
I
together.
when I see Sparky, because I'm an electrician.
Electrician,
And I used to travel a lot, so I was the Sparky Nomad.
Sparky
boy.
Nomad.
Yeah, I was.
Keith, we need to see you. It's been a while since you've been on here, Keith. You need to come
Yeah.
on. And next time, and it's so lovely to be back. I mean, it's a Sunday evening. There's not much to do on a Sunday evening, hence why
Yeah.
in the UK, this is why we picked this time. But I know it's your guys. It's what
6:10.
6:10.
6:10 over there. And then also, Sparky,
Almost
what I
time
love
for
about
American
it,
football.
you've just joined us is the fact that you being a little bit younger from us, you come from a different perspective as well, and that's really
I
important.
also think I have a very different perspective on relationships as a whole as well, because there are people my age who they are married, they have kids, they've done the whole
Poor
shebang,
bastard.
if you like. Whereas for me, I'm very much I'm good, thanks. I'm good on my own. But
Yeah.
I also have the side of I have a broad sexuality, so I don't care who you are. If I like you, I like you. That's how
Is
I
that
am.
like pansexual?
Yes, yeah.
Mm.
When I
But
first
I-
heard that, it took me a while. I had to look it up.
Did
No,
you
it's
think it was
alright.
Peter Pan,
But-
Mike?
Oh, Peter Pan.
But Sparky,
Oh,
do you find that you don't think about marriage with anyone at all, or do you sometimes think, if I met the right person?
yeah.
I think I don't know. I just have this inbuilt fear of marriage.
Yeah.
But I think part of it is being, in fact, no, a lot of it, and I've actually realized where this comes from. Just like at this moment, is the fear of being stuck, and the fear of being in something that I don't necessarily want to be in, and then
Yeah, that makes sense.
that you can't
And
find an easy way out of.
You can't get
Yeah.
out of.
yeah, exactly. It's like the
Um,
claustrophobia kind of thing.
Yeah.
you know,
Right.
But with a relationship.
you know,
But
people.
it makes sense, especially being, pansexual, then maybe you don't want to be stuck with one
Yeah.
person.
what do
You know
call it?
what I mean? I don't
But
mean
there's
it
so
bad.
many
You know what I'm
now out
saying?
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
so
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. Monogamy is so overrated.
But
Well,
I
I
mean,
dis-
you
I
know
disagree
what I
with that.
mean.
Depending on agreements,
Yeah, that's it.
you've then got
Sure.
that side of it as well.
And I can say that
Sure.
because, like, yeah, they both know.
Sparky, maybe we
background
should just
background.
get married. Fuck it, let's do
I'm
it.
game. I'm so game.
Exactly. She just wants the Impala, of course.
No, not just.
Not just.
I mean, that is a pretty
Huckleberry
big
comes
win
too, like,
there.
come
With,
on.
you know.
There is two children as well here.
Exactly.
There's Huckleberry and,
That's very,
and
that
obviously
are
Theo as
very
well.
needy.
I mean,
Right?
think of what you would be getting, Sparky. Seriously,
I
Yeah.
know. She'd been away.
Impala, the dog, the cat.
I'd
I
have
mean,
such a great time.
right?
She would. The thing is, that's what
Don't tempt me.
subject we need to look at, because we have not done that on Wicked Women. The whole LGBTQ part of it.
Yeah.
And I think that would be a very fascinating way to look at it from women's point of view and guys, but also from the American UK version as well, because we're all very different. And one thing about
Right.
Wicked Women, we do say, Val and I do say, we are respectful of whatever
Absolutely.
coming from. We're not here to
It's a safe space. I mean, we have no judgments on anything.
No, that's what. No, we're like,
No.
like, it feels good, do it.
although we have a bit of a giggle about some things, I have to say, but
Yeah.
but it's true. I think we need to look at that, because at the end of the day, we haven't dealt with that
You know-
subject yet, and it's a subject that obviously I think is going to be quite explosive both ways.
Yeah.
But I think I can understand and about the whole pansexual side of things, because there are so many different people. It's like chocolate. You go into a sweet shop and there's all these chocolates everywhere, and you're like,
Yeah.
do you know, today I'm going to be, I'm going to go curly whirly. Tomorrow I might go Turkish delight, right? And then there's Three Musketeers there, or there's there's something else.
So what Sparky's saying is she has a quarter and she don't want to decide on just one.
I have 1 quarter and I don't know where to put it. Like,
Exactly.
But you know what?
Because you want to taste everything.
But you
and
know,
the funny thing there as well is, genuinely, the last relationship that I was in was when I was 21, and I was still kind of finding myself and that kind of thing.
Right.
I can talk to guys fine. I find women very intimidating, and I don't
They
know
are.
why.
they are. They're because they're complicated creatures.
Oh my goodness! I've tried talking to women before, and I get overly flustered, because I think if I mess this up, I know what I would do if I reacted this way.
And it's very easy to mess it up and not even know you're messing it up.
Yeah.
But
But also, at the
Michael,
same
you're
time, I know
not
that from a personal
helping.
experience.
No, I'm just saying, if you want to, somebody's been married 4 times or whatever, that.
But
You're
then
not
also-
helping.
Also, if someone is experienced like that, then cool.
yeah,
Like I'm
Yeah.
also game with that. Do you know what I mean?
And I'll be honest with you, my daughter has been married to 2 women and divorced twice. And they said, Michael, what do you think? I said, well, now she knows how the rest of us is, the fight for half your shit. Just because Mrs. Smith down the road looks good, don't mean you need to go taste her fucking cookies. All right.
But see,
And
that's
that
what I
happens
was
twice,
saying.
you know?
They need to listen to us because we've had
that's
more
what I'm-
experience with shit than they
That's
have.
what I'm saying.
Yes.
And they say, Michael, I said, the lady was really sweet. I liked her. And she's like, oh, you won't like my daddy. He's a misogynist. He's an asshole. I'm none of that. I'm thinking, you're projecting your insecurities on me. And they're like, oh, you're this. I'm like, I don't give a shit. You can go to church. You can go to a titty bar. I don't care. As long as you're not hurting kids or puppies or kittens, I could give up. And don't be mean to old people. Just because they're assholes don't mean you can hit them. it's like, holy fuck, I really don't give a shit if you go around with a feather duster stuck in your ass and pretending to be a chicken. Do you? You know, if that's your kink, wear it the fuck out.
How are you finding these things in the back of your brain? Like, what have you been reading?
You're worrying me, Michael. You're worrying me a
I'm
little
like,
bit.
This
I'm
is
like,
a
you know,
normal night on Wicked Women here.
it is. You know what I'm saying?
I
And,
love
and I
it.
tell people, you know, I figure if you got this weird fucked up thing in your mind, there's probably somebody else out there that's got the same thing.
Or
You know,
worse.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're not gonna be lonely forever. You know, wear it the fuck out. You know, just put it out there. You know, get you a VR headset. Go to one of the rooms, and you see these. Oh, they took me to one of them. Holy fuck! I've been shot at and blowed up, and I wasn't as shocked. But anyway, but I'm like, holy shit. But that's all I'm saying. You know, as long as you're not hurting nobody, what is it? What is it? KB says, don't be afeared as long as you don't threaten to dismember or hurt or blow anybody up. You know, speak your piece. You know, do you? And I'm like, you know, and you know that's
Oh
about
my
KB,
God.
73 years old. KB still don't give a fuck. You know, that man looked at Cantor and said, eat a dick. You know, you don't scare me. And now he's fine. He's like me. He smokes 2 packs a day. He don't give a fuck. So sometimes I think we take ourselves too
Oh,
serious.
he's fine, but he is friggin' cantankerous as hell.
That's what I'm saying. He don't give a. I think he looks at the grass sometimes and say, hey, I don't feel like fucking mowing you. Quit growing. You know, it's just, that's how KB is. But that's what I'm
Oh,
saying. You know,
God.
that's what I'm saying. It's out there. And like I said, you know, sooner or later, and when you're not looking for the weirdo that completes you, you trip over the motherfucker and there you are. Then you
Well,
know,
the thing is,
like, holy
the
shit.
thing is, you have to be true to you.
That's it.
Be true to yourself, no matter who you're around, and the people that are meant to be in your life will come into your life.
That's it. Just be
You-
true to
you
yourself.
can't-
Yeah.
You
The
can't
universe
pretend to
does
be
amazing
who
things
someone
like
you're
that.
not.
What is it? Rick James said,
You know,
let your freak flag fly. Do it. You know
you
what I'm saying?
can't be who you think everybody wants you to be
No.
and be true to yourself at the same time. You just can't do it. It's
No.
easier to just be you, and the people that are meant to be in your life will come into your life. That gives them the door
Well,
to
they
be in your
normally
life and want to be around you.
they normally come in when you least expect it, because
is.
Absolutely.
having been down the dating sites and over the years a lot, it's like pervert, fuckwit, half-wit, emotionally unstable, emotionally non-gentle.
Yeah,
It's
unavailable.
just a joke, and
That's
so in
very
the end,
rude to talk about me like that. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
in the
saying.
yeah,
end,
yeah. We are
so-
sitting right here, Wendy. Yeah.
in the end, you just go,
Yeah.
I'm just going to have to stick with the dog, right? Because literally, at least he's loyal.
Right.
And he doesn't care. Like, you know, when I'm ill, I'm here, Mom. I'm not leaving your side. But I think it's true. Like, but I can see that out of all the sexualities, and I'm sure we'll come and talk about it, of all the sexualities, I can see why pansexual is the most interesting out of all of them, because it's like, you know, it's the person. It doesn't matter whether they've got you know,
Well,
the male, female,
it-
it doesn't matter.
It's
just
more
like-
about personality and who they are than,
Okay. Not
anything else.
nothing
being,
to do with the bits, you know.
I'm saying not being like this or anything, but if it's, let me see how I can put it. Because like I said, you know, because I really don't care. But anyway, but would that be?
Sparky's like, let's go.
No. Like I said, you know, I'm legitimately curious now, because I was in the Army, and you know, I come into the Army. It was like, you know, you cannot be. Oh, you can be, but you can't say anything. And then the next thing you know, it's, hey, we're here, and you know, whatever. Like I said, you know, I served all
And
that.
it's
You know,
going backwards again now.
Yeah. I'm like, wow. You know what I'm saying? And I always thought that they should leave sexuality out of the Army.
Mhm.
I think we were built to be a lethal force.
I'm an Army kid, so
You know what I'm saying?
for me,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like I said, the more you get to know me, there's a very, very dark side, and I hide it well with humor, because I was really good at what I did. But you know, but
Mhm.
if it don't matter if it's a guy or a girl, and one of the weirdest things was I ended up living beside this openly swinging couple that was MPs that was so bad they got through out of Korea. So yeah,
Well, I mean, I think it should come down.
it's so you know what I'm
I
saying?
think it should come down to who you are, not what you do in the bedroom.
But like I said, you know, I
Yeah.
don't understand the pan, because if you're open to guy or girl, or guy, girl. You know what I'm saying? I really don't give a shit what people do. You know what I'm saying? I
Mhm.
figure if you want to dress up and paint each other and run around like children of the flies or whatever, I don't care. But wouldn't that be bi? Or am I
So
just old and confused?
no, that's okay. So there's you've got the different definitions. I personally much prefer the bi flag. So I'm most of the time I'm like probably would say I would be bi, but pan is more like and I'm kind of in between. Kind of in between.
You know what I'm saying? Can
Because
you see my confusion though?
oh
Because
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
if you
But
like,
you've also got those female at birth, male at birth,
yeah,
and then you've got male and female. So you've got the gender side of it that comes into it, and then the sexuality side that comes into it as well. So there's multiple differences in regards to it. Just ends up being the person who they are themselves. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter how they were born, if they've transitioned, if they are cis, if they like either way. It's just
So
whoever
see,
that
it's
person is themselves.
a lot of
so
times it seems like I got to have a
bi
cheat
is
sheet to do
more male or female. Pan is more whoever you are, like like
Yeah,
personality wise.
I think a lot of the time as well is it depends on the individual who is labeling themselves as such. So whether they are bi or pan, because they are very similar. And a lot of the time, it does just come down to the individual themselves as to how they want to label themselves, because that's the most important thing, rather than
But do
trying to
you?
figure out who or what kind of
I
thing.
just label myself as a
I
problem.
do want to ask you a question, and I don't mean any disrespect at all. I'm totally curious. Don't you think that people should look at people more for how they act, who they are as a person, and all this, rather than everything coming down to their sexuality?
Yeah, no, totally,
As an
absolutely.
individual,
So,
I mean,
so for me,
you know,
I focus purely on my main thing is this a nice person? Do I want to spend time with this person? Yes, cool.
right,
Is that going to go
right.
anywhere further? Don't know. Let's chat and see where it goes. But I don't ever
Yeah.
go into something specifically going, I want to create a relationship with this person. For me, it's all about having the good relationship with the person to begin with before you even go anywhere near any of that.
Sure.
Which also, just to throw another spanner in the works, which is also called demisexual, where you have to like the person. Yeah, I know. Where you have to like the person themselves before you have a physical attraction.
oh, Catherine,
But that's
am I
not where
saying
I'm at.
right?
That's
Yeah,
me.
see, my little brain is just
Thanks, Catherine.
Attracted to the person regardless of gender. Okay,
So I think it'd be interesting to have a show on this to actually
absolutely.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and the thing is also we have to when we do the show we have to realize that we all come from different cultures, we all come
do.
from different
Absolutely.
backgrounds and different ages and different times, and that changes us as a person and how we look at things. And it doesn't mean it's right or wrong, it just means where we're coming from. And I think that the more understanding we have and the more sort of looking at things in a this is just really how it is.
Right.
But I mean, I think it'd be a great show. So I think Sparky, you've got
Yeah.
that sense of humor to kind of educate on some. But for me, we did a swinging one, didn't we, Val? We did the swinging one.
Yeah,
We did
I'll
a
have to go
swinging
watch
show.
yeah. And what was it? There was the other one.
And do you know our most popular show so far has been The Dominant Woman?
Oh yeah.
And so it should be.
I know.
Oh, let me ask Sparky this: when you do go into a relationship, do you want to be the dominant or do you want to be the submissive?
I'm a switch, so it doesn't matter.
Which oh boy, you can't pin her down on nothing, can you?
No, that's the point.
Holy shit.
But see,
Yeah,
it comes down to this. For me, it comes down to I like Sparky. This is the first time I've met her.
Yeah.
I've never talked to her. I like Sparky
She's had
for
me
who
laugh.
she is. It doesn't matter,
No.
who she likes, what she's attracted to, whatever. as a person, you know,
You know what I'm saying? You know,
it
and that's
does
what I
that
say.
the other part of her doesn't worry
No.
me. That's her.
Yeah, I think there can be
It's her
too many
decisions.
labels, and
But
I
that's
think
what I say.
that is something I would like to see less of, because end of the day, I agree where Sparky's
Exactly.
coming from. It should be the person. It doesn't matter. They don't have to label themselves and go, "I'm
No.
gay, I'm bi, I'm pan." It's
Exactly.
like, this is my name's Sparky and I'm dating Fred, right? And Fred is whatever, or I'm dating Frida. It doesn't really matter what they are. And I
Right.
think so many people, they do get that banner and they do bang it a lot, and it's like, love, you don't need to bang it that hard. At the end of the day, we'll,
Yeah.
you know, educate is great, but at the end of the day, you're a person, you're a human being, and you're falling for another human being. It doesn't really matter if they've got, you know, a vag or a dick. It doesn't really matter, you know. At the end of the day,
Makes
I'm
no
not fussy.
difference.
exactly.
But you know what I tell them? Mine says, I'm Michael and I am the whole ass problem. But you know, and also said, you know, Sparky seems cool. I'm glad you came on, Sparky, because most of the time I'm just
Yeah, me
coming
too.
through.
Yeah, me
And
too.
but like I said, and you know, and I say, you know, people go through life and they take themselves so fucking serious. It's like,
You do.
let me tell you about me, motherfucker, and you will listen. And it's like, no,
Yeah,
no,
I
no,
can't stand
calm-
that.
And it's like, oh no, calm down, calm down. It's like, dude, you're not that serious. And it's like, and the Karens, let me speak to your manager type, and they all got the same fucking haircut. It's like,
Yep.
it's like, bitch, nobody cares.
Well, that's what we want on Wicked When. We want
And
it
I'm
to
like,
be a safe space that everybody
It's
comes
It's a
out.
safe space. Exactly.
They have a good time, but
and
they
have
also
open.
learn, and
That's
it's
it.
a safe space. You know, we're not here
I
to
mean,
put a point across. With it, what you get from it is up to you.
That's it.
I think
You
we
know,
should
people
get
are
Catherine in at some
can
point as
feel
well.
you know what? I judge you a whole lot harder if you're an asshole than who you go to bed with.
but people are
Same.
welcome to disagree with
Mm.
me or Wendy or whoever. It doesn't
Yes,
mean
we
that
also-
I'm,
okay.
you know, that you
Not
must, you know, you must agree with me. We all have our own beliefs. We all have, you know, our own opinions, and people can feel free to disagree on here.
And
It's,
I'm
I
sure
mean, we're not all
it's
just
not
alike.
personal. It's not personal. It's
No.
and the other thing is, like, I find it really hard, and I'm sure this is something we'll talk about next week. But when people say, like, I identify as a dolphin or something like that, it's like, really? Do you live in the sea and have flippers? And
That one's
you know, I
difficult for me.
identify as a dolphin because end of the day, like,
Identify as a pit bull.
I don't identify.
I mean,
Oh,
if you know,
I can snarl at you, I guess. If
you know,
that's what you want.
Identify as a pit
like
bull.
I told my brother and I were having a conversation about this. I don't, you know, everybody in the world has their own, you know, they have the freedom to act and identify how they want to. That doesn't mean that I'm going to call you a damn dolphin, but if you want to call yourself that, more power to you.
that's
Hey, you
it.
know what?
But
I'm all down to that.
it's
You start peeing
difficult.
in my cat's litter box. I have to clean that motherfucker out, and if I catch you squatting in Hogan's litter box, we're gonna have a whole ass problem.
But I mean, you know, I would never
no.
try. I would never try to push the way I think on anybody else.
I don't give a shit what.
And
you
I
know.
expect other
Oh my
people
God.
not to do that to me.
Look at the doggo.
Yeah, look at
And
it.
as long as that
You
is
know why I identify as a
good,
pit.
everybody can get along.
I do not identify as my age that I am. I do not identify at my age.
What is it? Identify of having the
do
clarity
not.
of a 12-year-old boy. You know.
I
and-
identify as a millionaire. It doesn't always work.
no, that's it. And it's
Keep
like,
saying it, babe. The universe might hear you. Keep
that's
saying it.
No,
Keep
but like I said,
saying
you know,
it.
it's like you know,
Um,
and you know, and talking about, you know, and I know we try to stay like all like politically neutral here, which is hard for me sometimes. But I always said, you know, there's a certain state that we have here in America, and they always say you can identify or you can be whatever. I want to move to the West Coast and identify as a billionaire. Then when they tell me I'm not a billionaire, I want to sue them for financial discrimination. Say, motherfucker, you told me I could be whatever, you know. You know, that's even what they told me. You don't know how old I am, Sparky. When I joined the Army, I don't know how much you keep it, but we used to have a slogan: "Be all you can be in the Army." Them motherfuckers lied. You know, I'm like, no. So you know what? Like I said, we got to stay. You know, if they want to play this game, I'm all about bending the rules or whatever because I really don't care. And I'm like, oh, okay, identify as this. Now, where's my fucking check? Where's my mansion? I need my Bentley. I need my
I
Jag.
think all of us would like to
My
identify
Aston
as a
Martin.
billionaire. I would.
Yes.
I'm up for it. I keep focusing on it.
Yeah.
Any day now, I'm going to look in the bank and there's going to be like all those notes in there, and I'll be like, thank you, God.
Yeah, no.
Thank you.
It's, where's my
I
fucking
agree,
rocket?
Colleen.
You know what I'm saying? You know, where's my fucking rocket so I can send people to the space station?
Oh, let's
You know what I'm
bring
saying?
up Auntie Carlene's
Well,
post.
choose to love each other for what they are. And not,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love
wait
that.
you meet. Yeah, wait you meet Aunt Carlene, Sparky. You hang around long enough, you'll meet Aunt Carlene. She's a trip. Love Aunt Carlene.
And it's
I'm
been
around
so-
now. Don't worry.
Oh yeah.
you're part of the crew. It's so lovely, and yet, at the end of the day, when you do this show, you obviously are mixing with people who have different opinions and different thoughts, and it's
Yeah.
like it isn't personal. It is literally the fact that we have to put out all different sides to it, because that way, then if might be one person that watches the show and go, that's me, or another person goes, that's me. And I think
Yeah.
hopefully tonight, if there's anyone that's watching this show tonight and they've seen about the whole I don't, and they're in that situation, I hope it's made a difference to someone tonight, wherever you are or whenever you watch this. I want to say a big thank you to everyone that's been with us tonight. The lovely Sparky, JP, of course, always lovely to see, and all the people that have come and joined us in the comments. It really, really means a lot to Val and I. And
Absolutely.
you know, because we wouldn't have a show without you guys coming along and putting your little, you know,
Tuppence.
penny's worth into it, you know. And sometimes Val and I, we sit here and our brain goes like, what is that, Val? What was that you were saying? You feel like, you know, trying to remember it. There will be a show next week. We will be back. Fingers crossed.
What's the
next
title?
week.
What's the title for next week?
Well, that's something we'll discuss, obviously, but it will be a show next week. And even if I'm in another country, there'll still be a show, because I you know, even if I'm abroad, we will still do a show because it'll have a different flavor. I will be on different times. Sparky, please come back and join us again.
I
Yes,
will
we
indeed.
do.
So long as you'll have me, of course.
Of course, darling.
I
Anytime.
just have to make sure, darling.
And stay with us as we go out from the show. And Michael, as always, Huckleberry's come on. Thank you.
I got a quote, you know, that I wrote down that I thought about this, and I see the people going through like the end of a marriage, and it says, "What is it? Don't go gently into that dark night." And a lot of times, people, they get pulled into that dark spot in their life because it's traumatic, and it's almost like it's. You know, the marriage has been on a lot of support. Then, you know, when they finally pull the plug and you see a fret line, you know, it's almost like they mourn the death of a relationship. So that's what I'm telling you. Don't go gently. You know what I'm saying? You know, hold your head up high.
Go hard and fast.
That's it.
Oh, hell yeah. Now I'm in.
Yeah.
Easy.
Now
I
we're
woke
getting-
up again.
Now we're getting somewhere. Yes.
I will see you. I'm going to let Val, as usual, take us out, but I'll see you all next week. And it's been a great show.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I appreciate Sparky and Michael and JP and everybody coming on. Don't forget to hit the like button, share, subscribe.
Yes. Yes, because our viewers are getting me. Just bring it on. Hang on. Where is it? Here we go.
I'm sorry, I've got a tickle in the back of my throat. It's killing me.
Well, watch this one. Here we go. Like, share, subscribe.
Thank you.
I got something to fix that, Val.
Shut up. Yeah, absolutely. Recommend us to anyone that you feel like might want to come on and talk with us, or might just have
Man, Michael.
a need to watch us for any reason.
Because we're fun.
That's it. We're entertaining.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm going to share it
know,
into my community as well.
if that's awesome. If
Yeah.
nothing else, you can get a giggle.
What was it? The other day, I picked up 3 subscribers the other night in one conversation. I said, "Damn it, we need to work harder. We need to get, what is it, 1,000 subscribers."
This man goes on to shops and restaurants and plain Sparky, and he goes, "You need to watch Wicked Women AAA," and he gets these people to join us up in the sky or in the store. It's so funny. I love it.
I love that.
You know what? Yeah, I will hold their ass hostage until they get out their phone and like and subscribe. I don't give a fuck. I get militant. Say,
And so
"Goddamn
you should.
It's what I'm saying. It's like, goddamn it, you will love us. All right.
Will.
And, you know, fuck you. You know.
Love me.
Hey, I'll whip out my sales experience again. We're good.
Exactly.
Awesome.
We do work hard, and it's a lot of fun behind the scenes. We do have like the sort of conflab behind the scenes at times, and it's quite interesting, which you'll see when we go off the show. And Val's about to take us out because we're almost up to the 3 hours, which is something we did not
Wow.
think we would do tonight.
No, we
Val-
didn't.
This is like old times. Ain't it?
Val?
5 hours later, we're still here.
Okay. We're gonna be back next Sunday, 9 o'clock at UK, 4 here, 5 Central,
6.
4
West.
Mountain, and 3 out on the other California coast.
I think it's 2 Mountain, isn't it? 2 Mountain.
It's 3. Let's see,
2, 3,
4
4.
here, 3 Central, 2 Mountain, and
1 o'clock.
1 West.
Yeah.
West
is that
Coast.
right?
Yeah, because they're -8 from us.
Yeah.
I was coming back this way instead of going that way. Anyway, I'll get it
I
one
did
of
the
these
same.
days.
I did
We
the
don't-
same.
Anyway, y'all can find us on YouTube all the time. So
What episode is this?
This is 4-4.
Ooh.
Bodie Foe.
If you've got nothing else better to do on a Sunday, if you want to have riveting conversation with sparkling attention and just like conversation that makes you want to talk about it all week, please come and like, share, and subscribe for Wicked Women AAA on YouTube. And you can also find us on Instagram and X as well. We haven't dare go to Facebook and TikTok. I don't think I have the strength to do that.
But also one better as well, if people like and subscribe, also hit the bell button as well to get a notification for when we go live.
Yes.
I forget. I always forget about the bell. I'm not on here very much.
Yeah. And
I just want to double check.
And I always stream it.
Obviously, I don't. I need to write down what I need to say because I freaking forget everything.
You got to go from the hip, Val.
But
Go from the hip.
I've got
hit
experience
all the
doing it,
little
it's okay.
buttons. Punch,
Yeah.
punch
all
all
the
the
buttons.
buttons.
Yeah.
Touch all the buttons. You will find us there
And
again.
come back next weekend and put a little wicked in your weekend.
Yeah,
Ooh.
All right, gorgeous. Stay with me. I'm going to end the show. I will see you all next week. Bye, loves.
Bye, everybody.
Here we go.